see the light, turn it up right. He will fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights, I saw him stay. Will fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights, I saw him stay. Say from him slip up all eyes on him. I defend the people, them said spice on him. Even politicians spread lies on him. But we know the bugger them not wise like him. Back up, them not ties on him. Them know say that the people rely on him. You know said them bring out them cries through him. That's why all the people them respect him. Just like Selassie and Marcus Garvey. Rock you all the order of the Trinity. A real strong soldier in a army. No simpleton can disarm you. We'll fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. defending your rights. I saw him stay. Well, fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights. I saw him stay. How long them a gonna know say that them fire can't cool? How long them a gonna take our people for fool? Nah build no houses, them nah build no school. Think them up the handle but of the most I rule. Them better stop criticizing. Cause what them a do now phase him. You know the man no lazy. All them a talk, them are the one right crazy. We'll fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights. I saw him stay. We'll fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights. I saw him stay. Say from him step up all eyes on him. I defend the people, them set spice on him. Even politicians spread lies on him. But we know the bugger them not wise like him. Back up, them not no ties on him. Them know said that the people rely on him. You know said them bring out them cries through him. That's why all the people them respect him. Just like Selassie and Marcus Garvey. The man hold the harder of the Trinity. A real strong soldier in a army. No simpleton can disarm you. Them fight for the people every day. Risk them life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights. I saw him stay. Them fight for the people every day. Risk them life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights. I saw him stay. Them fight for the people every day. Risk him life for the people every day. Get criticized for the people every day. Defending your rights. I saw him stay.
Greetings, my people. Can you hear me? You know me have to come on with that, right? Can you hear me, my people? Blessings. Oh, good. Okay, outstanding. Well, my brothers and sisters, supporters, friends, even detractors, welcome to another edition of Come Reason with Rattigan. And actually, it's a misnomer because it's Come Let Us Reason Together. But, you know, the platform, Rattigan. So that's where we are. Lots of things to talk about. And of course, so little time. And we didn't even started. And I'm saying that so little time. Because I was looking at the list that OT sent me, and it's a lot of things. But we'll try to get through as much as we can. Again, blessings to you, your family. Hope all is well. And let me just, I haven't done this in a while. Let me just say hello to those of you in the chat. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. Actually, it's not that you deserve it. It's my obligation to recognize you. All right? Because you took the time to be here. You could be anywhere else at this point in time, except here. But you have made a wise choice. I said the wise choice to be with us. And we're sincerely appreciative. We're eternally grateful. So let me start out. Ilian, turn up, big up yourself, Miss E. Stay so. Oh yeah, we have to remember the disclaimer, Miss E. Yeah, the views, comments are that of the viewers and the callers and people in the chat. It's not necessarily that of the platform host. We need to say that because you know this is the suing season and everybody has sue everybody. Although even when it's pointless, you know, people still do it, but that's okay. ACLB 9025, bless up. Yes, and we'll convey your blessings to Kevin. He was just with us a while ago because, again, we started and we had a delay. I don't know why, but I managed to, you know, Kevin is He's teaching me the hard way. He's not doing it for me. He's just sitting back and just let me make my mistakes and get through it. And today, fortunately, I was able to do so. He was looking over my shoulder. So, Kevin, thanks again. Big up yourself. Barbara Giwa, bless up. Beverly 975. Yes, indeed. Thank you for being here. Miss Elaine, they're all over the place. Bless up yourself, Miss Elaine. LW2. Good afternoon, family. Greetings and maximum salutations. Yes. Thank you, LW2. Thank you. 5 stars, 596. There is no prime minister nor leadership. Yeah, 5 star. I understand your frustration. I understand it. Believe me. OJLDF, that is, of course, producer OT. Big up yourself. Laura Williams. Good evening to you. Good evening to your family. Bless up. Paula MacArthur. Good night. Thank you for being here. Jeffrey Worrell, as distinct from Jeffrey Tavares. Big up yourself, Jeffrey. Thank you for being here, sir. Dorothy McCoy, blessings. And thank you for being here. Elaine, no, we didn't switch time. We're thinking about coming, maybe we did. We're thinking of coming on. Oh, no. We're thinking of coming on 7 o'clock tonight. And then I asked OT to move it to 8 o'clock. And then we decided, no, let's go on at 7. Sister Marie is going to join us. So, all right. But you have your eagle eye out. I can see that. Joyful's one? No, Joyful's one. Good night. Bless up yourself. Balibala. Yes, love the name. Big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Is that it, OT? Winnie Mead. Good night. Glad to have you with us. Hope you enjoy the program. The humble lady, unstoppable. Fa. Blessings. Thank you. That's it, right? OT? Oh, that's it for now. Okay. All right, cool. All right. People, Jamaica, we talk about it, and it's funny because it's almost like every week we have to go over the topic. I mean, corruption is the order of the day, right? But when we talk about it, you have some people who, and I understand where they're coming from. They say, every day talk about this, talk about that. Well, what we're trying to do is row against the tide, because the things that we're talking about heretofore, it's only a few years ago that people in general, bloggers, you had a few, but I'm talking about this universe of bloggers that we have now. It's only recently in a few years that we have come together to educate our people about what's going on in Jamaica. And on this platform, we have taken it, we're looking at it from a different standpoint. And I shouldn't say different, an added standpoint. And that is, we're trying to teach our people civics, because that's the foundation. A lot of the things going on, terrible, atrocious, just outright bad for the country. But you see, when you understand civics, when you understand the civics of it, big up yourself, Diane folks, big up London. When you understand the civics of it, then you get the real understanding, because otherwise it's more like yes, you get the facts, but it's more from an emotional standpoint that you hear it and you just get enraged because you can't believe that they're doing this. But what we try to do is show you how they're violating the law, not just that they're violating the law. But how they're violating the law and the role that you play. So far, we're picking up steam. We haven't gathered as much as we anticipated, but you know what? Every mickle, you know the rest of that saying. So I want to big up the people all over Jamaica. Big up the people in Fletcher's Land, Firehouse, Malvern, Mandeville, Santa Cruz, Tower Hill, Cockburn Pen. I shouldn't start, because you can't mention all of the people who want to listen to you. You know, Portmore. And people get upset. Please don't get upset with me. Moneygh, Claremont, all the people in England, all of the people in England, all of the people in Canada, all of the hey, Sadlin Gale, Myersville, yes indeed, yes indeed. Big up from the Philippines. I like cats. Thank you for joining us. Mandeville, joyful one. See there. So we just Myersville, my little place that too. We just want to big up everybody, but we feel that it is so important that you tell us where you're from so that we can recognize your beginnings, recognize the place where you call home. Davidton, Manchester, that's Dwight Tyndale. Yuan Hilton, good evening, bless up. Warminster, sadly. My people them that, my people them that. Yeah, we just find that if you would just tell us where you're from so we can give a shout out to your community. Oh, you live upstate New York. All right. But Jamaica is our paradise. But it needs a lot of fixing. Despite all of the deficiencies, it is still our paradise. It is still a place where Jamaicans living abroad, they want to go home to spend the rest of their lives, the end of days in Jamaica. I can't begin to tell you how many people have said that to me, that, yeah, America nice, this place nice, but want to go home. Well, it's going to take a little bit of time because we can't go home now. We cannot go home now. Most of the senior citizens that I know, they have some kind of ongoing medical issue. And you know what the medical situation is like in Jamaica. And so a lot of you decided to hold off or to go somewhere else. Right? Dwight Tyndale. All right. Jillian, big up yourself. I like your comment last night. They said I'm beggy. I love it. Dorrit. Yeah. You never know the new class start earlier today. Yeah. I have to give credit to, I don't want to say blame. I say you have to give credit to OT for that. All right. So the elderly, the retirees, they want to go back to Jamaica, but they realize that the medical situation is terrible. It's terrible. And you could die waiting to get medical attention in Jamaica. I mean, you could die anywhere, but some places you're more sure of it happening, and Jamaica is one of those places where if you have an issue, and let's say you live in a rural part, a rural section of Jamaica, it'll be difficult to get an ambulance. And if you don't have transportation, it's rough. And then when you get to the hospital, they don't have the equipment, the supplies. And in some instances, they don't have the trained personnel to take care of you because a lot of those personnel, they've flown the coop. The Jamaicans have moved on to the UK, Canada, the US, the Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and elsewhere. And the Cubans, we know what happened there, right? So people are having difficulty making that decision. When I said, I shouldn't say having difficulty making the decision. It's because it's not difficult for them. They look and say, look, I want to live, right? And I want to live in Jamaica. But because of my medical condition, I can't afford to do so right now. So that decision was made for them by people like Minister Tufton. You know, when they look at Cornwall, they look at UWI, they look at Jubilee, they look at Sablamar, they look all over the place, and they look at the atrocious state that our hospitals are in. And by the way, you know, remember I wrote to the ministry asking them about the disposal of medical waste quite some time now. And they responded and said, yes, we're going to get back to you. And they didn't. And I reminded them this past January that I'm still waiting. And they haven't responded. So when you see things like that happen, you know, you almost can draw your conclusion as to what's going on, because the information came to me from a very, very well-placed, reliable source. But I'm only asking questions. I didn't accuse him of anything. I'm only asking questions to confirm what I have heard, and they have not responded. So those things kind of make you wonder, because the information I got was that they were burying medical waste across the island, that the incinerators, they weren't working, and they had to get rid of the medical waste because it was piling up. So Juliet Rowe, Tuffy and Andrew make we no want to go home. What hospital? Okay. Them nasty. Okay. So they want you to, so you can't really go back home now because of the the state of the hospitals. You can't really go back home now because you're going to have problems. If you're a young person and you're in good health, yeah, shouldn't be a problem. But if you're somebody who's in their 80s and you have the non-communicable diseases that go along with age, diabetes, arthritis, etc., you could have a serious problem. Wow. Dwight Tyndale. Look at that. Health system is a big problem. Yesterday, I listened to a lady, someone that one of her family had feet were swelling, and when she reached hospital, she died. And that's why you see the travel advisory, the US government, they put it out there, even though they lower the number, but the language is still the same. They're saying, don't go to Jamaica and get sick. Don't. So, that's where we are. Now, the other thing is, when you listen to the Prime Minister and you listen to his cohorts, the other ministers, the square pegs trying to fit in a round hole, discuss the situation in Jamaica, be it security, financial, social, political, and otherwise, you get the sense that Jamaica is the poster child for small developing nations. You absolutely get that picture. Because if you listen to them, Jamaica has the lowest unemployment rate in its history. The GDP, or debt to GDP, is down to, I don't know, high 60s right now, coming from over 100. The security situation, it's safe in Jamaica. The Jamaican economy is doing well, it's robust. Everything is fine when you listen to them speak. And so, if you take them at face value, you will have no choice if you live in the diaspora. And we know how things are getting tough in the diaspora. You'll have no choice but to start reaching out to your relatives and say, listen, send a barrel from Jamaica and send some money. with it because the Prime Minister says that, everybody who wants a job has a job. The economy is doing very well. It's robust. Jamaica is so resilient. It's bounced back from all kinds of natural disasters and external financial shocks. There it is. The economy grew 4.6%. So, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be, I was going to say unusual, but it's not unusual. It wouldn't be wrong for you to say to your relatives in Jamaica, everything is going well there. Everything is not going well here. So we need some help now because the help has been going this way and we need the help to come this way. So I spoke to a relative of mine today and dire straits. She's in dire straits. And I was about to ask her to send me some yam and banana, cocoa, dasheen, and pineapple, neeseberry, some mango, whatever she can find, and just top it off with like some money, 100 US. Would I take that? But I said no, because that would be cruel, because I know that she is in a difficult spot. So to ask her, she wouldn't see, I don't know if she would see the humor in it. So that's why I didn't. But I'm tempted to do it. And I'm tempted to do it with other people because, the diaspora has been extending a helping hand to our brothers and sisters in Jamaica, as we should. As we should. And when they tell you that, the remittances, you're just a help out your people. No, we're helping out the Jamaican government as well, because there are people who invest in Jamaica. There are people who pay taxes in Jamaica, all of this. There are people who travel to Jamaica. The government get taxes off you when you travel too. So, and there are other ways where the government benefits from remittances. So when I listen to, Minister Terry Long, and I listen to the Prime Minister, and I listen to people like Minister Dana Morris Dixon, I just shake my head and say, what universe are these people living in? And you know what? People actually believe them. That's the unbelievable part, that people actually believe them. People actually believe them. Now, they've amassed and accumulated a tremendous amount of money since Melissa. Melissa is like a savior for the government in terms of financial resources, because they got almost 7 billion from international organizations, banks. The top 4. Plus, don't forget, they had the CAF, the bond in the Caribbean. They had the CAT bond, the 150 million that they took and gave to. Listen to how smart our government is. You pay about 10 million a year in premiums to get insurance coverage from weather, from storms, hurricanes, to the tune of 150 million US dollars. The western part of the island, devastated. And you take the 150 million and you say, we're going to give it to a foreign company. Yes, the Jamaican government has a seat in that company, but it's a minor seat. And you give it to a company that is largely owned by South Korea, a South Korean company and a Japanese company. And you gave them the 150 million that you could have used to develop the western part of the island. And they should have had their own insurance to deal with this, because when they purchased that company, they should have known, or they knew that Jamaica is in the hurricane belt, in the earthquake belt, and it's likely that these things are going to happen. But you take the 150 million, you take the 10 million from the taxpayers, and you pay these 18, 15, whatever investors through, I think it's the UN. I think it's the UN. It's some international organization. And there's a payout. So you think, okay, the people give you 10 million, insure the country, you get 150 million, but you have $8 billion worth of damage. So you use that 150 to help. No, you take the 150 and give it to a foreign company. And then what did that foreign company do? They promised that they would get electricity back to everybody who lost electricity by a certain date. That didn't happen. And then they also jumped out and said that most of the country, whatever it was, 60, 80% of the customers got back electricity within a certain time period. What they didn't tell you was that they turned off the electricity in certain places, like in Kingston and St. Andrew. So when they said we restored electricity, most people are thinking, oh, so they put up back the light posts, they put up back the lines and this and that. No, all they did was just flip a switch and turn it back on. And then Kingston and St. Andrew and other places got power, and they counted that and said, we restored power to those places. And now they're getting ready to raise your electricity bill. I don't know if these people are just evil or they're incompetent or they're crooks or they're a combination of all three. I don't know. How could you be so unfeeling, so uncaring about the plight of the people, particularly those in Western Jamaica? That you take the money, 150 million, and you give it to this foreign company. And then you get almost 7 billion that these same people going to have to go and help pay you back. Just like the money, just like the 750 million that the government received during COVID from IDB, World Bank, etc. People will have to pay that back. And now here we are, almost 7 billion, and we're not counting the 400,000 they received from the concert down in Florida, the Hard Rock Cafe. We're not counting that. We're not counting all of the help that the Diaspora provided. All of the church groups, the community groups. We're not counting that. We're not even counting monies that they received separate and apart from this almost $7 billion in grants and loans that they got from the US, the UK, from individual countries. And what did they do? They said, we are going to channel those funds through ODPEM, Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. We're going to channel all the aid coming in must go through. Well, PIOJ is a clearinghouse for all of this. I mean, everything that's coming in, the procedure that it goes through PIOJ. And they take stock of everything that's coming in. But now we have ODPEM. And then what did he do with ODPEM? He changed the management of ODPEM. I think it was right before or right after the hurricane. I think it was right before. He got rid of a seasoned professional and brought in a neophyte, somebody who had no clue. And his cluelessness was on full display when he appeared in Parliament. And Damien started asking him a bunch of questions. Not just Damien, others as well. Square pegs trying to fit in round holes. Won't work. Won't work. Oh, Starlink. Oh, yeah, you're right. Starlink. Big to do about Starlink. And then come to find out that the Starlings were not assigned. Them pile up in our storeroom. Don said it looks like one or more of the thief them have shares in a JPS. I'm you know what? Because JPS, the shares are distributed. The two companies, the South Korean company, the Japanese company, the Jamaican government, and individual investors. So probably some of those individual investors are some of these people. So the Jamaican people are catching hell. They're catching hell. Sometimes I wonder how they make it through the day. They also brag about the government, that is, bragged about the poverty rate. Poverty rate is low, 9%, 6%, whatever it is, but they forgot to tell you that they have like around 20% of the people teetering on the edge. And they're going to go over because of what's going on in the Middle East. But not only that, we destroyed our relationship with Venezuela. And we owe Venezuela money. They have us in court right now. So if they're smart, they should have negotiated getting oil from Venezuela through the US government. That's what they should have done. And as OT mentioned, hurricane season is right around the corner. Right around the corner. The Prime Minister will be in New York tomorrow, begging, as Julian said, beggy. He'll be here tomorrow begging. And they made it clear that they don't want people, broke pocket people, to come to that event. They want people with big money who can absorb big losses, because you know some of the money there, once it's committed, it's gone. Bloomy Coleman said my light bill moved from 6,000 to 12,000, one jump. Look at that. I'm sure Bloomy Coleman, your pay hike didn't go from, you didn't get from 6 to 12. That's 100%. You didn't get 100% pay hike. I'm almost sure of that. Almost sure of that. But so he's here tomorrow, and he'll be begging. And guess what? He has sent out his surrogates, my favorite minister, Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, along with others, to beg for the same purpose. What's that? Melissa recovery. They use Melissa to everything now for beg, to pull at your heartstrings and say, no, we want to build back Jamaica, we want to be real. And then you say, but wait a minute, what to all the money we want to get? How come people still asleep outside under the elements? How come the roads them no fix? How come this? How come people are dropped through road and get killed? How? So they're coming. Let me find it here. Oh, by the way, before we go any further, let me put this up. All right. This week, people. Not next week. This week. Next week. Yeah. Next week. Next week, Saturday. Pen release. One of our biggest supporters and a dear friend of mine, Yvonne, She has a bus ride from New York every year to Penrelease. And this is her flyer. She's the owner of Y Consulting Group, and she's doing it in conjunction with Culture Jam Radio and Red Hot Radio. And Saturday, April the 25th. And it's round trip, bus and food, $100 per person. Sounds quite reasonable to me. I mean, no, so she do a nice breakfast on it, and she have some snacks and things. She do an outstanding job. Her bus ride at the talk of the town. And for the $100 you get, for $100 you get bus ride and food. You don't get your ticket. The round trip, bus, food, and stadium tickets, $170 per person. And then I have limited stadium tickets, $75 per person. So, and all payments are non-refundable. See that? And the buses, it's a one bus. I shouldn't say that because her thing turn up. So it might be more than one bus. But she have, here it is, a bus will be leaving Elmont. That's right on the border, Queens and Long Island. At 798 Elmont Road, it's leaving at 6 a.m. sharp. Yeah, I think it's one bus, because then that same bus is going up to the Bronx and leaving. They're going to do a pickup in the Bronx at 7 a.m. And that's at 3447 Baychester Avenue. The location is the Highlights Restaurant and Lounge. And then they're going to leave from the Bronx straight to Pennsylvania. All right, here's a number. If you're interested, let me big it up here. There it is. Call Y Young 516-429-9577 or Bobby Channel 1 646-302-3144. I repeat, Y Young. You can say Yvonne 516-429-9577 or Bobby Channel 1 646-302-3144. Call them, people. Make it today. Don't be late, because you might not. If you're late, you might not be able to get on the bus because it's going to sell out. Can't tell you that. So there it is. It's next week, not this coming Saturday, following Saturday. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend the Penrelease, and I also highly recommend the bus ride. I haven't been on the bus ride, but I've heard some lovely things about the bus ride. But I've been to Penrelease on numerous occasions, and it's a nice way to go spend a Saturday and, meet up with old friends, watch the event, reminisce, and then, grab a bite, socialize, not only during the event, but also after. I used to go with a group of people, and there's one guy who lived pretty close to the track. And after the event, we'd go to his place, and he had a dinner there, and he used to entertain a lot of people. So, you'd meet up with him, have fun at the event, then we'd go to his place and we'd have a meal, we'd sit around, reminisce, joke, this, that. And then later on, we'd just start making our way home. So there it is. Let me put up the number again, people. There it is. Hey, sis, there. Come on.
Stay upon the Gideon, my brother.
You're upon the Gideon. You're upon the Gully side. You're upon the Gideon.
But they upon the Gully side.
They want to see you. No, but they are focused on Yvonne bus ride. A week to Penrelease. So
Penrelease coming up.
Yeah, a week from this Saturday. So the information is there. 516, and we'll do it again this Saturday. So if you have your phone with you, please take a picture, screenshot the thing. If not, we're going to mention it again on Saturday, or we're going to mention it again next week, Wednesday. So But we suggest that you take the information now and call, because the tickets are flying out Ivan's purse like it go out of style. So you need to call her now and just make sure say you have your ticket, and make sure you book your place on the bus, and you're gonna have fun. Trust me. All right, we can move that. Sis is here, so sis, welcome.
Thank you, my brother. How are you doing?
Well,
How was your week?
But they just go on changa, you know. So everything is good. We can't complain.
Yeah, everything Christian, everything Corey.
You there? Want to big up my brethren, Bunny Jump from Firehouse. Big up yourself, my brother. Cora, stay so. Big up yourself. Yes.
Yeah, and a great Wednesday evening to everybody in the chat night. It's funny. It's this YouTube channel has helped to create an expanded group of friends and family, and people who you'd not have met in other circumstances. YouTube has really opened us to other people. People of like mind, who are concerned, who have the best interest of Jamaica at heart. It's not about politics. It's about compassion, kindness, caring. And we meet in this space. And it's a beautiful thing. And I really have to, because they could have been doing other things, and they take the time out of their busy schedules to come and chit chat with us, laugh, talk, tell them to talk up the things them. And we have some fun at times, because we're not ogres, So we have fun at times, but the issues are so many, and they come into this space to hear us, voice our concerns, to share their concerns. And so I respect them, I love them, and I have to say a big shout out, big hug, and much love to all of the men, women, young people, and also children who are on devices, who see us, hear us, and appreciate us. I appreciate you back. We appreciate you back. And thanks for being in this space.
Okay, outstanding. OT, where you want to jump off on? Let me see something here. Last week, Saturday, we showed this. And I know some of you on the Wednesday program, you don't join us on the Saturday program. Speaking of which, on Saturday, this Saturday, we're going to have the owner of Reggae Global Radio on for a few minutes. And she's coming on to discuss the amazing audience we have developed over the past 2-3 years. When she gave me the numbers of people tuned in to the Saturday program, I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. So I said, look, you need to come on and explain it. I was stunned. I was happy, but I was also kind of a little disappointed, because the amount of people that listen to it, and we say, hey, when we said put some money towards certain things, if everybody, if all of the people, if we average $2, just $2 from everybody who's watching on Reggae Global Radio, listening on Reggae Global Radio, listening on YouTube, sis, we're going to clear. We're going to clear. And I tell you what, we're asking again, people, for you to make a donation. We have somebody in our circle, family member, who's going through some difficulty right now. And the person was embarrassed to reach out to us. And I understand. The person is in dire need of financial assistance. And I said, okay, we're going to try and get you something. And we did that on Saturday. We're asking again, if you can put $5 today. If you put $5, if everyone here put $5, this is what we should be doing as a people. We should be helping each other.
That's what the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council should be about.
Yes, indeed. And
that's what it should be about.
Yes.
Because they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars yearly for all kinds of issues. And you're telling me they do not have a fund set aside for persons who fall in need and will from time to time. That is unfortunate.
And sis, that's one of the points that the government and its supporters, they're upset at me for making the point. And that is, we should be taking care of our people in the diaspora.
Yes.
Nothing against taking care of the people in Jamaica, but we should be taking care of the people in the after all, the organization is called the Global Jamaica, what? Diaspora. Not government. Diaspora. And we should be focused because we have people sleeping in their cars. We have people in homeless, in shelters. We have people who they're one paycheck away from being evicted. We have people who have immigration issues. We have people with medical issues, mental issues. Who's taking care of them? And then when I look around and I look at what some of the diaspora groups are doing, I'll tell you what, sis, I'll tell you a story. This past Sunday, I was invited to a function. It's a fundraiser for a foundation, for a school in Jamaica. And while I was there, I met this gentleman that I met 10 years ago. He's not from Jamaica, he's from Guyana. And he introduced me, he referred me. I was talking, because we're catching up, so it's like, what have you been doing since you retired? And I'm telling him. And he said, listen, I need to put you in touch with this guy from Nigeria, because this guy is a member of a Nigerian diaspora group. And their mandate is to ensure that every Nigerian who wants to go to college will get the opportunity, the financial opportunity to go to college. That's what they collect money to do.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I called him. I spoke to him this week, the gentleman who runs the foundation. And you know one of the first things he said to me? He said, in order for this to work in America, the first thing you must do, if you really want to help your people, you must register your organization as a 501c3 charity.
Yeah.
You must do that, because he said, no, you can get donations from corporate entities, from private individuals, from community groups. You can do all this, and it's legal.
And you can source grants as well.
Exactly. That's exactly what he said to me. You can use the 501c3 to get grants to help your people.
Yes.
Second thing, you know what he said to me? I said to him, so tell me now, what are your feelings about the government being involved in a diaspora? Do you have any government of? He said, absolutely not.
Not.
He said, absolutely not. We want no government presence or influence in our group, because he said, we're looking at it from the perspective of being Nigerians. We're not looking at it from the perspective of being a political party in Nigeria or a religious party in Nigeria. We're saying, if you're Nigerian and you want to go to college, we're going to ensure that you go to college. And then he was telling me how they collect money, how they spend money, how they account for money.
Account for it. That's important as well.
I asked him to come on this Saturday, and he said he gave me his commitment. Well, I'm going to hold him to it. We'll see. He's supposed to be coming on at 3:30. Soon as we start this Saturday, because he's very busy a whole lot of time. But he said, look, I can give you the time. And he says, whatever you need to kickstart your organization to get it going in the right direction, I will share our lived experience with you so that you can pick, choose whatever you want to do. But this is what we should be doing.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be doing.
Instead, what we do, we rally around the Prime Minister and collect money for the government. And for political
and they give no account for it. No account.
When he told me, because I asked him, I said, listen, when you come on Saturday, one of the things people are going to ask is, how do you account for money that you have provided to a member? Because what they do is the members actually, they go out and they look for people in need. Or you can approach them, but it's a two-way street. You can approach them, or they go looking for you. They'll reach out to in the community and say, who needs help? And that's what they do. And now, over the years, I've had several students ask me for assistance. And I remember that on a couple of occasions, I asked the students, I advised them, I said to them, listen, ask the embassy, because the embassy, they should be doing something called mapping the diaspora so that they know who can assist you with, you know, funding or whatever. Them come back to say, they must have said, we can't help you.
It's sad. It's sad. And you have a diaspora council who are also unable to provide any form of assistance, you know, because they're not in the service of the people who they are seeking donations from. They're in the service of a government who doesn't care. All they're saying is, work and send your money, come and shut your mouth. It is sad. When you have people within the diaspora who need assistance, there's nothing coming toward them. So when are they really going to stop this nonsense and start serving the people within the diaspora? When are they going to have the backbone to do that?
And look at Boom Clash. Boom Clash, the Indians do it. I know that the Irish, they do it. The Israelis, they do it. The Nigerians, I know they do it. And several other countries, groups, diaspora groups, they do it.
Yes.
Reina K. All right. When I talk to him, hopefully he'll come on Saturday and we can get his details, and then, you know, you can trace your lineage back to Nigeria, as most of us can, and, you know, ask for some assistance. But we're not helping. The country is...
It's sad.
It's sad. They're constantly begging. Let me show you this, sis. Let me show you this. Them beer face. Okay, here it is. Look at this. Okay, check the message. All right. OT, move off, because it's saying that in order for me to add this to the stage, I have to remove the other media streams from the stage. Hold on. There are media streams. Let me see something.
This is what me get for.
Okay. Why this one? This one. Okay, there it is. Come on. Here it is. Right here. The Consulate General of Jamaica, New York. It says the Recover Better Conference. I'm going to come your way, sis. A one-day action-oriented forum for Jamaica's post-Hurricane Melissa National Reconstruction. There it is. And I'm going down to the date. There it is right there. Thursday, April the 16th. And it's going to be right here.
Yeah, but Rattigan, if they are coming and not bringing an accountability for the money that they have gotten, Audrey Marks raised money, Juliet Honis came and raised money, Darrell Valls has raised money. Where are all those? And I'm talking about money outside of what they got from government, NGOs, and all of that. All those monies that were raised through private, non-profit organizations. Where has that? There has been no accountability for that money, and we have to go all the way back to COVID. So coming to raise money for reconstruction with no accountability, people are still sleeping on the tarpaulins. It is time for people to stop and say, no, this cannot happen anymore. Enough. Bring some accountability. Show us how the money has been spent. It cannot be this free for all, Rattigan, where they just show up like they're treating the diaspora like it's their personal ATM. It's not. It's not. And without accountability, they should not be getting $1 more because they got enough. What have they done with all that money?
See it there? See it there? Yakim bless Mitchell, big up yourself. But see it right here, April 16th from 9 to 5 in New York, the same place where we protested twice. And look at this. Well, we know them can't. Them say them go a big school and all them study, but we know them can't. Some of them can't read and they can't spell. Here it is. The Recover Better Conference is a one-day. Let me get this right. That's all. Here it is. The one-day action-oriented, convened by the CG of Jamaica and New York to mobilize expertise. See the big word I know. See that? Investment. He said them not put it first, but that is where them really want. And we'll show you why we say that. In support of when them all stop beg money for Melissa. Post-Hurricane Melissa Nation reconstruction. What them do with the money when them get so far? They need to come and show what them do with the money so far. But here it is that them still a beg. And of course, them can't spell because them spell conference. So I don't know if
it is a conference.
It is a conference, yeah. It's a conspiracy friends. It's a conspiracy.
Exactly. It's a conspiracy friend.
Yeah, that's what it is. But here's the people why. Look who them want for coming there. Not the dread. Look who them want. See that? See what I say? No, who should attend? Who should attend? Right? Look on the first. Look, let me make it bigger. Look who them want first for coming up. Investors and developers. So all of you people, my people, all of you who sit down at your kitchen table with your bill them pile up high, them no want you. Them don't want you. You can't help them. And guess what? They are not going to help you. Remember that. All of you sit down on your kitchen table and your bill pile up. Them don't want you. Them don't want you. And I not call a name, but I must say, one of a dear friend of ours, strong supporter, said to me, when I showed this last week, them say, you spoke to me without calling my name when you mentioned this and said we have bills piled up on our kitchen table because are true. Them say are true. And you know what that person said to me? The person said, you know what happened? I have to juggle my bills them in America, you know. Them say, look, me know them not cut off your light until after 90 days when them send you the notice. And the gas is a different thing and this is a different thing. So them say, what them do? They make it go up to like 60, 70 days and then pay that bill. Make the other one run past the 30 day, the first notice, the second notice, and when you talk about the third notice now for cut off, then pay that one there. So you constantly just have to pay for keep things on.
Yes.
Pay for things don't get turned off. Right? So them say, you attack to me when you say that, and them say, you're right. Most of us here, we are struggle. Most of us, so them want investors and look what them say. Those with capital ready, mean you must have money right now, you must have liquid cash. You know why? You tell them not like the man from what is it, Jamaica Progressive Party or JPP who say I'm a trillionaire, but it is not liquid, and they want to buy submarines for Jamaica, I want to buy fighter jets, I want to buy Harley Davidson for the
hold on. It's not Patterson. It's not from
no,
UIC.
Yeah.
You mean the man who wanted prostitutes when them have sex, they must drink, do drugs, have sex and then get drunk.
That's a UIC. That is UIC with the manifesto. And by the way, people will call him, you know. You know, he made one appearance on the show a few years ago. We called him recently and tell him must come back. Well, I want to know if him change the manifesto or if him change the philosophy of the group. Him right and say, he has no interest in coming on this program. And we know why.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. But you can't say, Mr. Patterson, you can't say, we didn't give you a platform. No, you know what should have happened now? When them try to go up on TVG and them places there, I hope them tell them, say, listen, Rattigan give you a platform, you know. Start with him first. And then you can work your way up to us. I hope them send him.
They don't have that gumption. They're all sold out. But back to this nonsense here. They say who should attend? Investors and developers, those with capital ready to deploy in housing, agriculture, and public infrastructure. Have they been reading the tea leaves? Have they been able to look through their crystal ball and see what is happening in the world right now? And how all of that impacts every single soul, even the investor who they think has the money to come and deploy to them. What about all those monies that they have already gotten yet to spend? And they still want people to come invest. Who are they really targeting? Because they don't seem to be living in a space of reality. They are far outside the realm of anything that has to do with what is happening in people's lives right now at every level, Rattigan, at every level. See what the Saudis did today? They canceled the golf program tournament that they're going to have in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia. Remember the one that they normally have? It's canceled. So who are they? You know, I know life goes on, but life goes on in a way that you have to change the trajectory. Whatever you were on before, that has to change to meet the needs of what is happening. And it is so fluid that you have to go with the flows of the wind as it blows and changes from direction to direction. Nothing can be set in stone right now. So you're asking somebody to come and bring their money, come and invest in housing and agriculture and infrastructure. We're 2 months outside of a hurricane season. The infrastructure that was damaged by Beryl and Melissa has yet to be rebuilt. What are they going to invest in? And who is going to ensure those projects? The problem with Jamaica is the physical infrastructure. And you know why Melissa was so devastating? The poor physical infrastructure. And now they're inviting people to come with money to do what? Seriously speaking, they can't be for real. I have nothing against reaching out to investors for investment into that. I think the country is over invested into. Because what else are they going to sell? What do they have to sell? Where else are they going to invest? Where are they going to put the people? Invest, come and invest into what? And as a matter of fact, investment without accountability is corruption. That is where you need to start.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I say, Megawatt, big up yourself. I say, Pauline Alvaranga. See, Pauline, by these are the kind of spirit we want to see where people just get so upset at themselves. We just want to go there because, not physically harm anybody, but let our voices be heard. Look on the second one, finance professionals. No. I tell you what, my mother was a finance professional, just like all of you, your mothers, them could have squeezed blood out of stone, right? Them could have squeezed $1 and make it
$100. Yeah.
Right. Them are the real finance professionals. No, them don't want those financial professionals. They don't want those. So what them want? Bankers, fund managers, and fintech operators. Them there. Them want. Then so they're going to establish diaspora leaders. You know who them not talk about? Working leaders of Jamaica. That's where networks. So they want people in the Northeast. Well, I'm in the Northeast, but I can tell you one thing, people. I have a funny feeling I won't be getting a call. I just have this funny feeling. I will not. And guess what? Forget about me. Sister not get no call neither. Sister Marie not no call. We can't tell you that. No. But you're not getting no calls. Right? No, they're not talking. What when they say established diaspora leaders, they're talking about them kunumuno. Them talking about
yes people.
The yes man, yes woman, the gophers. That's where they are talking about. Them not talking about come up to them and say, listen, we're not going in the wrong direction. They don't want that. They want people going to say, oh yes, you're doing great, and oh yes, continue.
People who are just willing to pose like domino, take a picture with the prime minister. That is all they're for. Just dress up and go and take a picture, and it's good enough for them. It's good enough for them.
Mm-hmm. People who are going to sell out them soul just for rub shoulders with these people. That's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then they want professionals, engineers, architects, educators, and agronomists. You know what they want? And money they want. Them don't want them.
They don't want them. No, they don't. They don't want them.
They don't want them. They don't want their ideas. Them don't want them. All they want them say, okay, engineer, you make money. I put the money in this thing here. That's what they really want. And then some of them are the CSR leaders. Look at this. Look at CSR leaders. Those who can direct capital. You know what that means? That means people who know people with money, who can convince them to bring the money come to Jamaica. See there? See there? That's
What happened to the money that they got, Rattigan? Rattigan, but you see, there has been okay, this GLP administration has gotten the most money to borrow of any other administration. Almost $7 billion is available to them. They have suspended the fiscal rules for 2 years. After the 2 years have expired, Rattigan, they cannot do it again, which means they have to go back to all the plans that have been placed to manage to pay back their debt. All right. What plans have they, what plans right now as we speak? What have you heard from the Minister of Finance, from the Prime Minister, about how the budget for this year will be implemented? What is in the budget to affect the people's life in a real and tangible way? What is in there in this fiscal year for that?
Well,
nothing.
I don't think
all the things that the Prime Minister spoke for almost over 4 hours making his speech, and everything was something down the road, Rattigan. Plans down the road. Nothing for 2027. Before you move on, last week, Staten put out, I don't know if you saw the Staten report, and it is basically about the health of the Jamaican economy. Fourth quarter numbers. The Jamaican economy was down by 7.1%. Goods producing sector declined by 10.7%. Services sector, which makes up 70% of the country's economy, declined by 5.9%. Within the goods producing sector, mining and quarrying fell by 38%. Okay?
Wow.
You know, guess how much agriculture, they're talking about agriculture. Agriculture fell by 17%.
Wow.
Manufacturing by 8.1%. Construction by 2.5%. Accommodation, food services sector like tourism, down by 31%. Okay? Yes. Information communication down by 12.6%. Electricity, water, down by 11.7%. Transportation down by 7.5%. Education, health services down by 6.8%. Real estate and BPO down by 3.5%. Wholesale retail down by 3.2%. You know the only sectors that grew?
Tourism,
finance, insurance services by 1.4%. Public administration by 2.2%.
You know what?
7 of the 9, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
7 of the 9 economic sectors declined by a large number. What is it in the government right now? What is the budget to deal with this issue is the question, Rattigan. And they're walking on their knees with their hands out begging. What happened to all the donations that came in after Melissa? What they have $6.6 billion in loan. The fiscal rules have been suspended. Why not utilize that money to build out the infrastructure so that, God forbid, another hurricane come, it can withstand some of that ferocity of Mother Nature. And you know, and the thing is, if you listen to opposition leader, you listen to economists. My favorite economist is Professor Ralston Hyman. You listen to Colin Bell's show. You listen to other shows, Bolo and all of that, and Hot Off the Press. And what you hear coming out of the Jamaican space is that the budget, when it was cast, because I know opposition leaders spoke about it in his press conference, and other leaders spoke about it. It was cast with a barrel of oil being sold in the high 50s, low 60s for the next 2 years. For the next 4 years. What is a barrel of oil today? And as a matter of fact, to cast it that low was irresponsible. That wasn't smart thinking on the part of the technocrats. Because if you're going to do a budget at the lowest end, knowing that oil is a volatile market, that means you're not putting any serious thoughts into what you're doing. So now, what is a barrel of oil for?
100.
Exactly. You see, and even though Jamaica does not have a supply issue because they do not get their oil from the Middle East, they get the oil from Colombia, Dominican Republic, and Nigeria. But guess what affects them? The price increase affects them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So anyway, like I'm saying, anywhere it's on Makajukyo, anywhere they look, anywhere they turn, they're being affected by what is happening in the Middle East. What plans have they put in place to mitigate some of the pressures that the people will face as a result? You know who are going to feel it? The transport operators, the taxi operators. Did they get a tax? Did they get a fare increase? And then I heard that the minister is saying they're going to have a like a COVID-style lockdown. The whole place is screwed. Where's the forward thinking?
There isn't.
And everybody, every leader worth their salt across the world have come out or are coming out with plans to mitigate the effects on their constituents. I don't hear anything from the Prime Minister. I don't hear anything from the Minister of Finance. Darrell Vaz, as Minister of Transport, came out with a half-assed whatever he put out today, and it still doesn't address the issues. All it is basically saying is bad man government in place, take it or leave it. I forgot shut this thing down because things are going to be rough. And he said if it goes until June, it's gonna be rough. And the CEO of SEPRAD, Richard Pandui, said they can no longer afford to absorb the costs. So they're going to they should be starting, I think, the middle of this month, an increase of 2 to 8% on food products. Tell me who can afford it already? This is not a joke. And you don't have the government. So he's coming hat in hand to beg. And he has no plans for, okay, when he begs the money, what is he doing with it? What infrastructure is he talking about? What infrastructure? Which school infrastructure? When you still have people sleeping in the schools in down the west. Come on, think about it. So who is he really talking to? Like I know Darrell Val say, you're dumb, dark, and stupid. So classes in session.
Dark and they're stupid. They are dunce.
Oh
they
my
are dark and they're stupid.
You see? Yeah.
Says him come with hat in hand, begging. But they're begging coming and going because now they're begging. He'll be here tomorrow begging for the one day. Then they say, come down to Jamaica for 5 days so we can beg you some more. And
beg you some more.
Yeah, this is it right here. This is the they did the big launch. I think it was today. This was a hybrid launch. This was a couple weeks ago in Florida. And they said that they have a commitment of 300 people, I believe, from South Florida or from Florida going. Well, I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe that to be the case. But the one thing I have to tell them is this.
Those people don't have bills to pay, Rattigan.
Okay. The 300
not living in the real world.
300 I'm not talking about going back home, it might be people who would go voluntary departure. People who say, I don't want to be deported. I'll buy my ticket and I'll go. So them just say, yeah, we're going. So it might be those people. Why should the diaspora keep sending remittances if Jamaica is so prosperous? Okay.
Exactly.
And by the way, prosperous Jamaica, booming economy growing, diaspora rejoice. Yeah. We'll play a little bit of the minister again. OT, you can move that. Thanks. The one thing I want to tell him is, please hurry up within the planning and send me the promo.
Put out their conference thing.
can make our promo. We can make our promo. We won't make our promo until you make yours, because we want to say what the plans are, so that then we can go ahead and make ours, and then we're going to have our own Diaspora conference at night. Every day that they do their conference, we're going to have one at night to discuss what they've discussed and show you whether or not it's going to benefit you. I have a pretty good idea that what they're going to talk about will not be of benefit to people in the diaspora.
No.
And people in Jamaica.
Or even on the ground in Jamaica. I mean, no, Rattigan.
Today, and they were saying, you know what they're saying? Come to Jamaica for the conference and just network, and we can do this and we can do that. I'm going to say, the funny thing, but tomorrow, I guarantee you, you're going to have some people, you're going to have some people who are going to show up at that event tomorrow, and they barely can afford the train fare.
True. The subway is $3, and many of them might not be able to even make the bus fare for the subway ride.
See it? Especially if you live in
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. That's $6.
You're right. And I know a lot of some of them going to go down there tomorrow, and you said to yourself, what's wrong with these people? But brainwashing is a hell of a thing, It's a hell of a thing. But you know what? One day the rice won't be able to swell. And that's when they must say, you know what? These young willies that talk the truth, when the rice can't swell. And it'll start right now. To go on.
Yeah, but Rattigan, they say we're destroying brand Jamaica. But the people who are still sleeping on the tarpaulin when rainfall, God help them. Son, it is hot. What is that all about? I don't know if you saw the issue with the JTA president, Mark Lava, and the issue with persons being intimate in their temporary housing setting.
In front of children.
It's in front of, but hold up a second. There are people are behaving like they're living underneath rock, and these people don't eat salt and drink sugar. It is natural for a persons within a home setting, because they have had to adjust and make that space their home because they have no other choice. And in that space setting, whether it's a wife and husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever, to have that kind of interaction. It is expected. If they did not expect it, Rattigan, then something is radically wrong with those people. So rather than attack the JTA president for bringing this, and I'm sure he spoke about it in private, but he has got no response. So when they don't get a response to things that you say in private, then they have to come out into the public space. And then when they come out into the public space, now they are being labeled. And you're here, the Minister Desmond, I don't know why Desmond McKenzie is still in the parliament, because he serves no purpose. He's not saying that he should apologize. Apologize for the truth. We have to get real. And the truth of the matter is 6 months going on 7 months since Melissa. And you still have persons in the schools where it is their home and school has to be in session. Children have to go to school. Already, the children are not performing at their optimum right now in the education sector, right? And they have lost so many school days because of Melissa. Now you have the school doing dual duty as a school and as a shelter. What do you want people to do? They have no. You think it's shame the people that don't have that stay. The people, if they had any option, any alternative, they wouldn't be there, Rattigan. So making people proud, them have ambition. They rather go and take something and make a place and somewhere and live. They would rather do that. But what do you say? How, like Martin Luther King said, how can you tell a man without boots to pull himself up by the bootstraps?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you speak out now, you are being chastised for speaking out and saying, oh, you're shaming the government. The government should be ashamed of itself. That's 6 months outside of a natural disaster. And after getting all those funds, you still have people suffering in such a way. I see Andre Stevens yesterday just gave a house to an elderly lady. And there's another, and when you look, there are people around who still need housing, Rattigan. It is not a joke, you know. It's not a joke. And while we're sitting here in the comfort of our own spaces, just imagine for a second a parent with their children in a car, in a makeshift space with tarpaulin as their roof, and the government is there playing footsie with their money that they get. I mean, you have to ask yourself, do these people have hearts of flesh? Because it cannot be that you sit down for so many months and construction is done by 2.5%. Do you know what could have jumpstarted help the economy grow? The construction industry. Because where you have a robust construction project, you know what you have? You have cook shops, all right? You have the taximen getting jobs. You have other persons going on site to get jobs. So you're creating employment in that, around that same construction project. So instead of taking all those millions of dollars to buy tin can for the people to live on, if they had started construction immediately after they cleared up the place, started construction, block, sand, and steel, do you know how many houses they could have built out by now down there, Rattigan? You know how many houses they could have would have been completed by now? I am not a construction person, but just common sense tells you if that they had engaged with the Builders Association, engaged the local investors, engaged with the private sector and say, we're going to build out, we're going to do block, sand, and steel. Don't you think that so many people still wouldn't be under the open canopy of heaven? And I've heard the opposition leader talk about a non-governmental organization offering to build out a shelter-like system, and the government did not take them up on it. So what are we doing here? And then he's coming to, what is he begging money for? Spend what you have. Then you're going to hear that they spend what, $67 billion? Where? On whom? On whom? People are going to collect money for roofs donation, and the chaos that was outside there. So the people are already suffering, and you further reduce them to more suffering when you have them show up like you're herding animals to collect that money, and they didn't get it right again. Can you imagine the shame that some of them feel? People have pride, you know. Pride, and not pride in a negative way. Pride in themselves. They want better for themselves, and the little that you're saying you're going to give them to assist them, they show up for it, and when they didn't get it, they had to go home, and they had to travel from miles away to come into Montego Bay to get that money. And when they reached, many of them did not get it. What are we doing? What are we doing to these people? Have you no compassion for these people? He's so far removed from the reality of poor people that I don't think that the government fully understands what poor people in Jamaica are experiencing. I really don't think they understand it. I think in their minds, they believe that everything is all right because they have roofs over their heads. They were never affected, so everything is all right. But people, the MPs down there says, it's politics they're playing. And the people are there. We see it every day. So what is happening here? What are we really doing? What is he begging for? What is he begging for? Because if he's not presenting a list of accomplishments down west where people can actually, not on paper, it must be tangible, that people can see to say, yes, this is what happened in St. Elizabeth. This is what happened in Westmoreland. This is what happened in Hanover. Not just care packages. People need place to live. Come on. Come on.
Well, it's sad. You mentioned a gentleman a while ago. Oh, here he is.
You still here at your age. You go home and play with the grandparents, man. Remember. Go play with the grandchildren. I agree.
It is an outrage.
I agree. I don't know why Dr. Dawes apologized, but Rattigan, that is how we all feel. That's how we all feel, because it's a government of geriatrics. And I have nothing against the elderly or older people, because we get, every day we're one day older, correct?
Mhm.
But what has Desmond McKenzie done since he has been in the political space that is tangible? What institutions has or agencies has Desmond McKenzie created to benefit the people that we can point to say, yes, that's something that Desmond McKenzie did? If you go home, serves no purpose in there. No purpose. None. Waste of space and waste of taxpayers' money. Useless.
You know, somebody asking the thing, where is it? Somebody just asked, thank for your sacrifice. What can we do to stop the bleeding of the Jamaican people? Well, first thing we have to do, we have to make the Jamaican people understand that they're bleeding. Because if you say to them, stop the bleeding, and them say, well, we're not bleeding. You know?
True.
And they've been brainwashed into thinking that everything is fine. I mean, let me show you something. Let me play a little bit of this. Oh, wait there. What's it? Terry Long. Oh, here it is.
So here he is.
All right. Let me play a little bit.
Can I ask you to unmute?
Okay, thanks. Hold on. Let me go on somewhere.
Business, and of course building Jamaica. So we look forward to welcoming every single one of you, and of course please pass your suggestions to CG Mayor, because again we depend on CG Mayor, and
I'm going to go back and say
have our Diaspora department here led by Director Blackwood and the team, again just doing phenomenal work. So we're looking forward to welcoming you. The programs committee has started meeting, so there will be a draft program out shortly. I'm hoping that the draft program will be ready in time for the official launch. The official launch takes place next week, and I can share with you here that we're meeting. Tomorrow we have a sponsors breakfast, again because people want to.
Let me get to the part where them ask questions.
Is coming to Jamaica. I got a message this morning from the Ghana Chamber of Commerce, and again, and the message is the plans for Jamaica. And you know, I'll tell you this: when Jamaica succeeds, less phone calls coming to the US to say beg you some phone card or beg you send the barrel, because everybody is now, you know, some of the good things that we've done. Unemployment in Jamaica, 3.3%. It's one of the lowest unemployment records in the world. This is your government building a better Jamaica for you and your families. So 3.3%, one of the lowest in the world. Our debt to GDP ratio, notwithstanding or even after a category 5 plus storm, our debt to GDP ratio, it is now approximately 70%. We were heading in the direction of, we were almost at 60. And we've moved up to 70. But remember, we're still coming from 144%, 125% a decade, 12 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago. So again, great movement because of the financial management. And when you look at Jamaica's financial management, we were able within weeks of the hurricane to go to all our major lending partners, the IMF, the World Bank, the international, the IDB and so forth. We were able to get some $6.8 billion US in funding that will be distributed over a particular period. Just like that. When I say just like that, simply because we were able to show the books that we're not parting with the rent money. You know, one time when and I share this with you, the IMF, and the World Bank, they used to start meetings and saying, okay, has Jamaica failed? No. You know, I mean, Jamaica is literally a basket case. You pour the water in there, you pour the money in there, and it just trickles right out.
Pause it right there. When did that happen? You know when it happened? When Bruce Golding was Prime Minister and Andrew Holness was Leader of Government Business in the House. That's when it happened. So, you know, he's saying things, but they're saying but they're giving the whole story. Okay? The 142% that he talks about was because of Bruce Golding and Andrew Holness-led administration. Okay? So they're giving you a part of the story, not the whole story. And this is the problem that I'm having with them. Give the whole story. Continue, my friend.
Okay.
With nowhere to go. That's not the case now. Jamaica is now the case study, the poster child, even the Miami Herald. How many of you saw the Miami Herald article 2 years ago that says Jamaica is the mini superpower in the Caribbean?
Rubbish.
Good finance, good fiscal management, good financial management. When you look at the investments we've made also across the education sector, the health sector, even security sector. You know, last year murders were down by more than 42% year on average. Already this year, we're close to 30% on top of the gains of last year.
Stop a little, Minister. Stop a little. We said these numbers and it roll off very easy. But we have to stop and just congratulate everybody who was a part of these drastic reductions. From I've been here as Consul General, the number one concern was crime. Now we're discussing major reductions in crime over the last 3 years. Kudos to everybody from the Minister of Security, all of our members of the police force, everybody who had a hand in this major achievement. This is something we can all feel proud of, members of the diaspora here.
I'll share this with you, Oliver, and team. When I say and team, all what, about 100 persons online.
By the way, Minister, the person you heard me talk about 2 while ago is my good.
Hold on, let me stop him right there. So hold on there. I'm gonna talk about crime, right? You need to look on this. We ask them people. They might have some categories where them push the dead bodies. Them in, know them don't want to know about. Stifle the numbers, keep the numbers down, right? And I've shared this with reporters in Jamaica, and they're just not asking the questions. So that's why I want to share not more with them. They're not asking the questions. One of them tell me, say them afraid. Them say, so why you ask me for the stats then? I'm saying one knows. So says, what good is it doing if I give it to you and you know, but you don't share it with the Jamaican people so that they know that they've been fed rubbish? Oh, look at this, people. There's a category, death investigation, and you've heard me go over this. Look at this. 2016 have 96 people in it. This is where they put it in there because they said, we don't know how the person died. We're still investigating. And if you go back and look, they still have bodies from 2016 in that category. Right? Look at, see the category we showed the other day. Death investigation, 119, it went up to 172 in 2024. These are all the categories they don't tell you about, Then look at this. These are all the categories. And let me show you something. Look at this one now. This one supposed to correspond with this, right? The 2023, 2024, and then it's supposed to correspond with this, 2016 to 2023. So it's 2016 to 2023, then 2023 to 2024, and then this one now is supposed to go from 2016 to 2025. So it have everything, right? People, is a pity when you probably can't see it. You know them though, sis? Them use whiteout and whiteout some of the categories and whiteout some of the numbers. Let me show you one. Look on that one.
Painful.
Look on this one now. Hold on. Look on this one now. This right there, so there's no category there. But see my bodies, I know. Right there, so. Wow. Right? Look on I'll show you some more with them whiteout.
Do you have another one down here too? Below act of God. Is that one? Yes. Below act of God, you have some numbers there. What is that? I'm not seeing it clearly.
No, you saw them though. Them right here.
Right, and you have some numbers at the end right there.
Them white it out. This category right here, them white it out. I have the original. I have a copy, but you can see clearly them white. All right, look on this one now. This right here, right there, them white it out. See the white out. If you can't, hold on. If you can't see the white out.
Yes.
See, look right there.
Yes.
Look right there. So
the numbers are fudged.
Them white it out, and them come tell people foolishness. That's why they're not coming around here, They're not coming around here because look at this one here. Here's another one. You see this right here below suicide. Them take out that category, write it out. Look, let me big it up.
Yes.
See there? The category below suicide. Them white it out. And so them white out the numbers, them go all the way across, them white out the numbers. Right? And you can't come tell we the foolishness run about crime down and this and that. Because you know if them come around where we're gonna ask them, talk to us about these categories. How many people in the category since 2016, 17, 18, 19, and coming to now? And how many people have you reclassified? Why did you reclassify them? Where did you reclassify them to? What based on what evidence? Because we know that the policemen, some of them out in the field, they're not accurately reporting these things because they've been instructed not to.
Yeah.
So dump the bodies them over there. So them can't. So when him come with like a foo self, you know.
Jason Walker, he's part of the production team. So
Now, Easter Monday is a big day in the constituency because not only am I a minister, but I'm also a member of parliament. So it's two different hats. And when you're in a diplomatic setting, it's a little different from when you're in the constituency.
Remove him. Am I idiot?
Him never wear his commissioner hat, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm not wearing my commissioner.
If they were two different hats, then was where the MP, when was the minister? Okay, I'm going to put on my minister hat and I'm going to put MP. But I have to really go back to what he was bragging about their fiscal management and how that fiscal policy that they have to follow, they have no choice but to follow it. So they're behaving like they came up and they'd created. No, they did not. As a matter of fact, the person who was on the architects of that fiscal policies that they have to follow is Mark Golding. They have to follow it. And that is why many times when they get up to talk garbage in the parliament, he has to correct them because if no one else understands it inside and out, he does. He does. And I think for once the prime minister spoke and he was like, yeah, he acknowledged that, you know, there was a time when because Jamaica almost went over the precipice as it relates to their fiscal management. The economy, because of their bad fiscal policies and bad fiscal management, the country almost went over the precipice. Andrew Holness was leader of government business, and Bruce Golding was prime minister. So when we, you know, they say you have to take the good, to take the bad, and you have the facts. To put them together, you have the facts of life. So you cannot just come and talk about the good parts and not talk about the bad parts. It doesn't give an accurate picture of what is happening, and it makes the person who is saying that look disingenuous, untrustworthy, and you know. And lacks integrity.
You know, Joyful's one said that how is it legal to write out these things? And that's a good question because this is an official report, you know.
Yes, good question.
Report. This is not something where somebody squeeze me and give me no. This is an official report. And them white out things as if them you know them watching and them say we're not white out not more. We're not giving not more. But we're gonna try. We'll get you look, them can't go.
But there's always somebody, Rattigan. Rattigan, it doesn't matter in any organization you have and how many rotten apples you have in that organization, you always have a few who say, you know what, I will not be a part of it. I won't be. There's gonna be somebody.
Judith Hibbert mentioned something about when they travel to Jamaica, the forms if you're online, they track you and send them. But yeah, we know about that, Judith. You're absolutely correct. And you know what's funny? I'm gonna share a little thing with I'll tell you. As you know, I talk to people on both sides. Well, actually, whichever party, no matter to me. If you willing to have a discussion with me, I will. And a certain member of the JLP, it tell me, say, no man, you can't come to Jamaica. You can't come and I will pick you up. And I say, but if I come, you have to stay at your place. And them say, yeah. And I say, hey, them take me an idiot, man. Them go there, them send me away. So
Rattigan, I don't wear dresses. I only wear pants. When I forgot buy a black frock.
I'm going to funeral. When I know where I go, I'm fine right there. So when
okay, good. My mother would say, keep your blouse quiet.
When me I go in, them don't know when me I come, man. Trust me. Trust me. We'll take a little break now, but which one of them you want to play? OT, which one of them you want to play? So that's this, can make the comment. Because me see you have 1, 3,
I should call it a problem, but
all right. All right, play it. Don't take a little break. Don't take a 5-minute break.
Our nurses graduate in Jamaica, and as soon as they gather enough experience, a lot of nurses would leave Jamaica and they'll go to America, because in America, the reality is that nowhere else in the world can compete with America when it comes on to paying their nurses and their doctors. So for years, for decades, nurses in Jamaica, as soon as they get like 2-3 years experience and Uncle Sam comes knocking, you can't blame them. They are going to leave. And even though it caused a problem in terms of shortage of nurses in Jamaica, it also adds to the reason why Jamaica is able to receive over $4 billion in remittance. Only tourism brings in more foreign currency, foreign exchange, US currency exchange in Jamaica than remittance. And if you should take a deep dive into Jamaica remittance, a lot of those money that's going into Jamaica from nurses, a lot of nurses work in America. And also in Canada,
okay, OT, you can pause that,
in the
OT.
top 5.
All right. He's making a very valid point about the nurses leaving Jamaica for more lucrative opportunities. And it's not only to the United States that is happening. They go to Canada, they go to England, they go all over Europe. And the problem is, I know it's not a new problem. It has been happening for decades, but it seems to have gotten worse in the last couple of years, And the primary reason for that is the lack of proper remuneration. The conditions under which they work is deplorable. The conditions are deplorable. The pay cannot meet their needs. All right. Many of them still have student loans to pay back. So as soon as they get the opportunity to travel, and as a matter of fact, many people scout them, right? So they're in high demand and they know that. Then the same thing goes for teachers as well. So it is rather unfortunate that this is happening, because what it does, it puts a drain and a strain on the health system in Jamaica, and no more so than ever before, because you had 320 Cuban doctors that left the program, left the system, and there has been no replacement and nothing from the government about how they are going to now fill that gap of 320 healthcare workers that have left the system. So you have a compounded problem where you have the trained nurses who left school, work for 2 years or whatever they feel like, and they leave because they need better opportunities. They need to improve their lives and to build their families. And on the other hand, you have some that were taken out of the system, and there's nothing that is put in place to deal with that gap. And at the end of the day, it's the people who feel it the most, because you still have people sleeping on floors in the hospitals. You still have the health system that is not accommodating to the needs of the Jamaican people. And this is only getting worse, and there's nothing coming from the government as to how it is they are going to arrest this problem. Continue, Oti.
Nurses that migrate to Canada to work in the hospital system in Canada, Jamaican nurses are all over the healthcare system in Canada. So that would be the reason why a lot of Jamaicans would think that we don't have a lot of nurses. We don't have enough nurses in Jamaica, and that is contributing to the healthcare system in Jamaica not being as efficient as it's supposed to be. But trust me, Jamaica produce a lot of nurses. I've been to Bermuda, working in Bermuda. A lot of the nurses in the Bermuda system,
you can stop him right there, OT. Yes, you can stop him right there. I'm listening to him, and I am trying to, read between what he's saying. And on the one hand, I do not want to say he is putting the blame on the nurses for leaving the system and not on the system for failing the nurses. Because if the system in Jamaica was up to par as the places that they're willing to leave for, then we wouldn't have this problem. So the issue is not really just about the nurses leaving. It is what is the underlying reason for that. And the underlying reason for that is the poor infrastructure, the lack of proper pay, the lack of proper housing. And this is what I don't understand, because I think it was last year or the year before, I think it was last year, when the Minister Tufton said that he was going to, I think it was Thailand and Nigeria or Ghana, but some other African country, to source nurses to fill the vacancies that exist in Jamaica. And I'm thinking to myself, now, in order to do that, you have to offer them a package that is attractive enough for them to leave that space and go into the Jamaican space to work. Now, there's also not many persons speak patois, so not many people will understand the language, because Jamaicans speak two languages, patois and English. Now, not many would understand that, so that's one barrier. But the other issue that I have is, how can you be trying to source nurses from other spaces? You have to provide them with housing, you have to provide them with an attractive salary package, bring them there, and not that same money that is being used to do that. Why not use it to pay the nurses properly? Why not use it to pay the nurses to pay the nurses properly? So I don't understand, how the government operates. What is the thinking process of this government as it relates to how they retain professionals in the system? Because the truth is, they are hemorrhaging professionals, not only nurses, doctors, teachers, policemen, they are hemorrhaging professionals. And it all goes back to compensation, salary packages, their inability to afford a decent quality of life, their inability to be able to buy a house. There was a time when a nurse and a teacher and a doctor and a policeman could apply for a loan from the National Housing Trust because they're paying into the housing trust, right? And they can no longer do that because they cannot go to the commercial banks and get a loan. The NHT offered a lower interest rate, which would have allowed them to be able to do that. Now they can't do that. So when you have the system, you have these professionals seeking employment opportunities outside of the Jamaican space. You cannot fault them. You have to look at the structure in place in that system that would allow for them to do that. And the onus has to be on the government to do better, to improve the infrastructure. And if they are not if they are not spending the capital budget, the monies from the capital budget on the infrastructure, hospitals, schools, roads, police stations, fire stations, all those infrastructure, if it's not being spent on that, how then do you think people will feel comfortable to work in those uncomfortable settings? Continue, OT.
Are from Jamaica. A lot of nurses in places like Dubai, in places like Turks and Caicos, in places like Panama, all over the world. Anywhere you go, there are Jamaican nurses over there. So it was good to see the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honorable Dr. Andrew Onis, just taking some time out to celebrate the Nursing Association of Jamaica. So I'm just going to play some of the video with the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Okay, you can stop it right there. You can stop it right there, Oti, because I really don't need to be celebrating the Prime Minister. We celebrate the Nurses Association of Jamaica, but it is the Prime Minister who lacks vision. His government lacks vision. And he talks about the nurses being in the Dubai and Turks and Caicos. I mean, in Dubai, they get good salaries there. With the war now, that has created a problem, but it is still better than being in the system, in the Jamaican system. You see, so it is the duty of the government to make the system work for the people. They are asking the people to work for the system, but there's no structure in place to make that system work on behalf of the workers. And you look across the board, when you have medical staff who complains about their unsafe working conditions, conditions that jeopardize their health. Now, they are there to protect and serve the interest of the patients, but they are to be taking care of a patient on the floor. How does that help that nurse? Because that nurse's health and safety is being jeopardized. So, you know, I have a problem listening to Andrew Hornes come out and say anything, because he likes, this is a man who likes cameras and likes to celebrate. But what is he really celebrating? Because in order to celebrate the Nurses Association of Jamaica, he has to first fix the system, the broken system, the infrastructure that is not accommodating to these persons in this space, that makes their work environment hazardous to their health and the health of their patients. They don't have enough equipment. They don't have enough tools to work with. Toiletries, something as simple as toiletries, medication, gloves. I mean, I don't understand for the life of me how this prime minister gets up, or members of this government, especially the minister of health, and speak with a straight face that everything is okay, when we have the situation facing our nurses, facing our professionals who have to get up and leave to find opportunities, professional opportunities that will allow them to have a decent standard of living. In order to do that, they have to go outside of their country. Yes, Brother Rattigan. Yeah, Rattigan. You're muted. Unmute. Okay.
Okay. All right. There's something I wanted to show. OT, where is it? The 10 reasons. I think I have them here on the, let me see something. I think I have them here on the Diaspora. Hold on a second. Whoa, Diaspora thing enough. All right, hold on. All right, OT. I'll use these. Hope you don't mind. Now I have to check with OT for me doing anything, you know. Yeah. Before I do this though, do you know what, sis? I was watching the PAC a couple days ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And it's abundantly clear to me that our politicians are not prepared. This job of being a parliamentarian should be taken very, very seriously, particularly in these times. And I find that people just show up and they really don't have any interest. They grandstand for the cameras and they look like idiots to people like me, because I do the homework and I know where the shortcomings are. I know where the deficiencies are. I know the questions that they should be asking. This is their job and they're getting paid handsomely to do this job. And it's a part-time job. It's not like in America where you have the Congress people where they have to show up every day for work and them get them breaks and all of that stuff. In Jamaica as well, once a week they show up, and maybe if they're not committed, they show up twice a week, and it's just half day. Right? And a lot of them have businesses on the side. And so when I watched it, I was so disappointed. And we're gonna play some of that on Saturday. And there was one where they challenged the chair, because he invited Fitz to come on, and Fitz Jackson to come in and speak, and them almost kill him. And I went back and I'm looking in the standing orders, and they seem to support the chair, but the chair backed down, and I'm like, oh man, these people, you know, I'm so disappointed. But I'm using that to segue to this, that when people take their jobs seriously, they'll do stuff like, I'm going to show you a little clip. I played it on Saturday, but it's worth showing you how, when you do your work, you know what questions to ask and you can hold people accountable. I played this on Saturday. Don't know if many of you saw it because I played it early. I just want to play two quick clips on South Africa. The first one is about what they're doing with corrupt politicians, because they have a committee that's meeting right now, and they're looking into police activities, illegal police activities. They're looking into good governance and all of that. And I can tell you that some of the policemen that they're looking at, high-ranking policemen, they'll be in prison. One gentleman who testified, and he was laughable because he lied. He's in jail right now. He just testified about 2 weeks ago, and he's in jail. He came up for bail this week, and he looks like he wanted to cry. And the judge said, no, we're not giving you any bail. You're going to stay right there until we get through with the charges and everything like that. That particular policeman, because I've seen his testimony, he's going to prison. Guaranteed he's going to prison because he killed himself. But anyway, take a look at this.
It's our new exciting game show, Wheel of Corruption. Let's see what new corruption our contestants unearthed in March. 12 senior police officials were arrested for their complicity in tender rigging for Vusi Musi Cat Matlala. Here is our recipe for corruption. 1 general, 6 brigadiers, 3 colonels, and a partridge in a pear tree. So if you count the suspenders, there's the Minister of Police, Senzan Mkhunu, suspended on special leave. The Commissioner of Police, Fani Masamolo, is about to be arrested. The Deputy Commissioner of Police, Shadrach Sabira, is suspended. The Head of Police Intelligence, General Dumisani Kumalo, is arrested. Former Minister of Police, Natyan Tetwa, mysteriously fell out of a window in Paris. To paraphrase the Bible, if you can find me 10 good cops, I'll save them, Samsi. Moving on to our next game show, The Real Housewives of Corruption in Healthcare. We've arrested the Director General of Health and a number of other senior officials for stealing money destined for HIV prevention and TB treatment. This theft has got nothing to do with the billions stolen from Tembisa Hospital, in which the President's nephew, whom the President claims to have never met, has been named. In MasterChef Corruption, we learned that NSFAS, the student funding scheme, can't account for hundreds of millions of rands and has been paying university fees for about 820 students who are no longer living. At Home Affairs, dozens of staff were dismissed for selling things like visas and permanent residence. Can someone please get me a menu with the prices? I'm in desperate need of a copy of my birth certificate. And the tribe has stolen, because at the education sector, about 630 million rand seems to have disappeared. The Auditor General tells us that government departments simply don't care that they get qualified or dodgy audits. She says there's about 32 billion rand that has either disappeared or just can't be accounted for. Meanwhile, the President's cash in the couch debacle at Pala Pala continues. We are now on day 490 since the EFF brought the matter to the Constitutional Court, and still no judgment or ruling.
Pala Pala will not go away.
This despite the fact that the Constitutional Court says unless exceptional circumstances, it will deliver a judgment within 3 months. Could keeping the President out of jail constitute exceptional circumstances? Then in other corruption news, there was Julius delivering cash to the taxi mafia. There was Action SA in the city of Tshwane. There's the tender irregularities relating to water tankers in Tshwane. You know, this could take all night. I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm Howard Saxton.
Can I remind you, Jamaica? Can I remind you, except that nobody's being arrested. At least they're arresting people. They're arresting people. And here is the commission. There are 2 commissions. One, the ad hoc committee that ended. They're wrapping up right now, doing their paperwork. This one is ongoing. The Madlanga. It's named after the gentleman in the middle. And these 3 people are 3 exceptional members of the committee. I'm telling you, when you watch it and you listen to the questions, I mean, these people are amazing. Look at this. Look at what they're going to do with this guy.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. Don't thank me. It means you're not answering truthfully. You just said you only learned recently. When I corrected you, then you thank me.
Okay.
I want you to concede that on the 12th of March,
Yes.
2025, you knew that sites had been added
Yes.
for ad hoc services.
I said exactly what I'm telling the commissioner. It was in black and white to my superiors. It started initially with Commissioner, Deputy Chief of Police, Commissioner Paul Hayes. And after Commissioner Spies was appointed, he also requested me for an explanation. The same explanation that I'm giving to the commissioner, I gave it to him. And as I was morning, I would receive emails as part of people who assisted on those emails. Hence, I could see that there was discussion, high-level discussion about these outstanding invoices. There were proposals and or options suggested at that level where I was not invited to make any input. Such emails, unfortunately, due to the fact that I'm not having access to my office, I cannot avail to the commissioner now, but I made a commitment. I can avail them as part of my evidence to the commissioner afterwards. Thank you.
Director Malachi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Do you remember what the question was? Do you remember what the question was that Advocate Sikakani asked you?
I thought, okay.
I'm trying to understand what you are answering.
Okay.
Because at one point you spoke about ad hoc services that were procured by other departments. And when invoices came, there was a phone call to you and you knew nothing about that, which is fine. But then halfway through your answer, you were dealing with allocations that were done through your department, and your answer got confusing because we got lost there. So let me ask you this question. Who is authorized in your department to issue the type of letter that you see on page 283? So the notification of deployment letter, who in your department is authorized to issue it?
Primarily, it's myself.
Yes.
Right? It's myself who's authorized, or I can, with instruction, right, allow Dr. Malihlaba or Piri or any other to say allocate the what?
Now, in January and February 2025, did you issue such an instruction to either Piri or Malihlaba?
I did not, Commissioner.
So when did you first become aware that this allocation letters were given to Gubis 85?
To be quite honest, I don't have the exact date, but it's now recently.
No, it can be now recently because in March 2025, you knew that these letters had been issued.
Okay, thanks.
To Gubis.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Don't thank me. It means you're not answering truthfully. You just said you only learned recently. Yeah. When I corrected you, then you thank me.
Okay.
I want you to concede that on the 12th of March, 2025, you knew that sites had been added for ad hoc services.
Yes, I know. I knew.
Yes. And I don't want to go further ahead because I know Advocate Sikakani is still coming to that part. I will ask my questions when we get there. But focus on the question that is being asked so that your evidence is structured. Thank you.
I wish we had some people like this in Jamaica.
You know what? I'm going to be very optimistic and say it's coming.
Okay.
The Auditor General, there are going to be more persons like her the Integrity Commission, despite the hiccups here and there, that's a very good organization, but I see it coming because they say they won't know themselves until their backs are against the wall. And it is getting to that place where people are going to demand accountability in a way that is going to force something similar to the inquiry that was done with Bruce Golding when KD Knight told him that he was pathologically mendacious. It is coming. It is going, because it is the people who cause this to happen. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. You don't expect the political class to do this. It is going to come from the people standing up and demanding to know where have these monies been spent. How is it that a commissioner can be presiding over officers that have been so rogue for such a long time, where they're unaliving the youth, especially young men, at an alarming rate, and there's no accountability? So it is coming. It takes, they talk about the straw that broke the camel's back. It is coming. It is coming. And if you look, Sunday, there was an election in Hungary, and after 16 years, a leader was ousted, right? If we go way back a few years, remember the Arab Spring and what that brought about, the changes that brought about. So you look at Burkina Faso, you look at Niger, you look at Mali, and you can see that there's a wind of change that is happening, that it's only a matter of time. It's not a matter of if this present JLP government is going to face some serious accountability, not questions, but inquiry. It's a matter of when, because you can push a person so far and no further. And how much more can they keep doing and getting away with it? So I think it's coming. I really believe it's coming.
Part of it is that the more we remain quiet while these things are happening, the more they think and they feel that they can do whatever they want to do without any consequences. I'll show you this. This is just to illustrate. I don't necessarily agree with the characterization of Idi Amin in this, and I don't know if this story is true, but I think it illustrates the point. And here it is. I have to read it for you, for those of you who... All right, here we go. It says, the late president of Uganda, Idi Amin, wanted to change the name of Uganda to Idi. Everybody in his cabinet agreed because they were afraid of him. But there was one man, Wally Amungo. He said to Idi Amin, Your Excellency, do you know a country called Cyprus? Idi Amin said to him, what does Cyprus have to do with the changing of Uganda to Idi? Wally Amungo replied, the citizens of Cyprus are called Cypriots. If we change the name of Uganda to Idi, we, the Ugandans, shall be called idiots, and the world will call us idiots, which we're not. Idi Amin looked at him and said, you and I are the most intelligent men in this cabinet. The name of the country shall remain Uganda. And so it remained to this day. His, Wally Amungo, was a lone voice, yet it stopped the madness of the most despotic dictator that Africa has ever produced. And here's a key part. The silence of good people makes evil to prevail.
That is true. But remember, it was Martin Luther who said, it is not where you stand when things are easy. It's where you stand where things are most difficult.
Okay.
And, we look to, right now, the Auditor General, Pamela Monroe Ellis, is our North Star. You know, Yes, and we wait with bated breaths for her reports to come out because it's thorough, it is fulsome, and that is how we really get a picture of what is happening. We also wait for the IC reports to come out, and the problem with the IC reports is that they are sent to Parliament for Juliet Holness to lay eggs on them. Because there are many reports sitting in the Parliament that are yet to be ventilated, the names have yet to be released. They have not been brought to the Parliament.
But here's the thing. I have a problem with the Integrity Commission because for the amount, I haven't seen, when was the last time they tabled something? They haven't tabled anything in quite a while, and I'm saying table it and put the pressure on her.
Yes, but they sent it over to the Parliament. She has not tabled it.
Some of them. But what I'm saying is that they should be pushing reports out like every week because they have so many.
Yes.
You know what?
So many.
If you go and you look at because if you look at the work rate and you look at the focus of what they're doing, it didn't have to be done by the Integrity Commission. It could have been done by a smaller unit, a lesser known unit, a less funded unit. And here's my argument. When I go and I look at your website and I look at all of the investigations that they're conducting or that they've conducted, the overwhelming majority of those investigations, they have to do with what? Not corruption, failure to file a statutory petition. That's an administrative thing. Failure to file. And I'm saying, is this what we're paying an anti-corruption body to do? To look and say, oh, because that's easy stuff. Because you have the names of the people who are supposed to file, right? And then they don't file. They say, oh, you didn't file. And then you say, okay, fine. So, we're going to bring you up on charges. To me, you don't need an anti-corruption, but you could use some administrative agency to do that. I want to see them do stuff where you say, okay, yes, they were paid to do this. I want to see them doing corruption investigations. That's what I want to see them do. And Jamaica is not a big place. How long does it take to get a document? It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me. But let me run on to this, sis. Let me show people. This is a prelude to what's coming on Saturday because we have some videos to go along with this. Want to big up OT. So let me just put it up there. And 10 reasons we have to highlight we have to make not big up OT, not to attend is it the 10th at Jamaica Diaspora Conference or the 11th? It's 2026. How does the conference benefit the Jamaican diaspora and actually people in Jamaica? No, 2 years ago, here's what they said. They said, we're going to give you 10 reasons to come to Jamaica for the conference. 10 reasons. And here they listed the 10 reasons. First one, it's in Montego Bay. So you must come for the sun, sand, and opportunities. They're not speaking to the people who have bills on their dining, on the kitchen table. They're not speaking to them. Opportunities. 2, this was the post-COVID reunion. It's the first conference since we have experienced COVID-19. Let's jam in Jamaica. 3, party in paradise. Come to the conference and enjoy the Jamaican entertainment scene. Believe that? 4, discover authentic Jamaican crafts. Take a piece of our island back home with you. 5.
That's a lie.
Look at 5. Taste some get jerk chicken, jerk pork, patties, and more. You have got a conference, and this is a reason why you must come because you can buy your jerk chicken at Jamaica. 6, you can come and look for your dream home. Come to the conference, to come look for your dream home. 7, you must come and enjoy a road trip on places where we're not on the roads, but you must come and enjoy the road trip. 8, reconnect with your roots. Visit your old stomping grounds. 9, diaspora influence. Said the conference will include a diverse agenda. Learn how members of the diaspora can get tangible benefits from active participation in the global Jamaica community. That's all words will mean nothing. Just like the man talk, and the man cut to the chase and ask him, and him couldn't answer. Same thing. That's nonsense. It should have said diaspora influence. It should have said, how can we help people who are homeless in America, the UK, Canada, elsewhere, people who need help? Jamaicans and diaspora, how can we help them? That's what it should be. And 10, it says network in paradise, build bridges. Well, one bridge, we see one man fall through one bridge, the road on the bridge. I think I told them 2 men fell through different times, died, and make waves. People drowned last week or so. All right, those are the 10 reasons. Now let's look at this. Number 1, it's in Montego Bay, sun, sand, and opportunities. Look at that. Exploitation of hotel workers. Them not talk about that. Accessibility to public beaches. Them not talk about that. Right? Is that picture there? The gentleman, he said, this is an all-inclusive property. Non-registered guests are not permitted beyond this point. See that? I'm see right there on the beach. Still, we want repeal and replace the Beach Control Act of 56. All beaches to be designated as public lands. That's not an issue they're going to take up. That's not an issue they're going to take up because you know why? They are in league with the hoteliers and the resort owners. So how can they now raise this issue and say, no, you have to create an easement so that people can actually use the foreshore, which is where the sand part of the beach. And if they want to use the facilities, then they pay for that. But they can't. You can't stop them from using the beach. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Number 2, post-COVID, they said, let's jam in Jamaica. But then, you know, we know about the health crisis in Jamaica. So even if you take off the post-COVID thing and them say, just come jam in Jamaica, whatever, you have the State Department travel advisory and you have the Canadian travel advisory as well and the UK travel advisory. And I think all of them speak to the health crisis in Jamaica. So if you want to go down there, take your life in your own hands. Gotcha. See them? People lay down on floor. You remember the lady who the shark bit the lady and then she go forget some medical attention and then said the doctor who's responsible for doing that is away on leave and she had to, I think she was medevac to the UK to get her treatment. Party in paradise. Come to the conference and enjoy the Jamaican entertainment scene. This is not an affordable entertainment scene for the average Jamaican. Can you imagine you have to pay hotel fee, what, $3,000 for the 5 nights, $2,000 for the 5 nights? Figure do what? Figure listen, a man, not even real entertainment, a man a play steel pan. Man a play steel pan. Look at 1.5 is a Chris Brown live. Look on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sound clash. All right. Discover authentic Jamaican crafts. You mentioned that since most of the crafts, you commented on that. Most of the crafts coming in
imported.
It's imported.
Mm-hmm.
The market bond. Sita, tourism minister, really embarrassed by foreign products in Jamaican craft markets. They might import the thing from
he's not embarrassed.
Indonesia, China, Vietnam, Laos, all over the place. All right.
How can he be embarrassed, Rattigan, when he facilitates it?
That's true. We have some things we have to talk about him to, pretty soon. Mr. Bartlett, Minister Bartlett, we're coming up. Your time is drawing nigh. We're gonna be focused on you fairly soon. So enjoy the coolness of the space right now because pretty soon it's going to get hot. All right. Taste of Jamaica, jerk chicken, jerk pork pot. Look at that. They might tell you this, but you know what happened, people? They might tell you about the 4 missing containers with the tainted food that they say unfit for human consumption. Up to now, we don't know what to the containers. Where the containers there? Where the containers? They have, I think, flour, red peas, I think maybe rice or something. Look,
but Rattigan, speaking of,
go ahead.
What about all those food donations that they got? Have those items been distributed to people? Because the packages that I saw them giving out had Jamaican products like noodle and those kinds of things. What about the products that they have gotten from overseas? Have those things been given out, or are they sitting down in a warehouse rotting away?
They're sitting on a warehouse just like the police cars sitting on the wharf since 2016, 2017. And there are about 30 something of them still have not been released to the JCF. And you said JCF get new bikes and things the other day. And the reporters, them not ask them, I say, Una get new equipment, new vehicles, new motorcycles, whatever. What happened to the 30-something we step on the wharf from 2016, 2017? What happened to those? Where we going to get those? That's I don't want to give it no source information right just so. So see Jamaica, your bill high. Your grocery bill. See that Jamaica's I'm gonna go person, sorry. 6. Dream home on. Come find your piece of paradise. Find your piece of paradise. See paradise, yeah. See it, yeah. You see the 2 piece I'll stick them and hold up the house where I drop down. This we are talking about. Them not mention this up here. Come to the conference, enjoy Jamaican road trip. Dilapidated infrastructure, car accidents, bad roads, dangerous bridges. But you must come and rent car from Whitney Island Car Rental. I think that's the one they used last year. Right? Watch out. You can go sightseeing in them patrol. You can drop in it and go sightseeing.
Oh, Lord.
So that's the one that the man dropped through the wall. Yeah, we're going to show the video. Reconnect with your roots. See there? You must move back and increase the birth rate. And see that Jamaica sells well. Just maybe not for returnees. And we have one more for go. And we're going to all right. Diaspora influence. And see, they must have diaspora influence. We have the diaspora struggles, right? Immigration, homelessness, high rent, cost of living, and we could go on and on and on and on and on. Who is looking out for these people? Our people. Who's looking out for them? Certainly not the government and not the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. And then we have the brain drain. People are run left Jamaica. Well, them can't really run nowadays because,
everywhere is problems, no?
And networking paradise. Why did we migrate? Who advocates for diaspora, yard and abroad? Is the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council for the Jamaican government or the diaspora? And we have some more things here. So, thank you, OT.
But Rattigan, how can you move back to increase birth rate and you're not getting a livable wage? How are you going to take care of your family?
And then them also say you're irresponsible because how can you have children and you
can't afford it?
Can't afford them. Raina Kelly said something like me did go there last year. No, me never go last year. But we had daily reports of what was going on. And this year we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to have our conference to coincide with their conference. We're not going to compete with them because they're going during the daytime because nighttime them want to go hang out. So we're going to have our conference at night and we're going to examine what they discussed during the daytime to see if it makes sense. And keep this in mind. The diaspora policy has basically 2 mandates. And the terms of reference to the whole thing is focused on basically 2 mandates. One is the national development of Jamaica. They're saying that diaspora, we need you to help us develop Jamaica. But before you get to that, there is the important one, and that is to help the diaspora to prosper in the country where they and their descendants live, because then they're going to leverage that prosperity to help the national development process for Jamaica. The question I have to ask them is, tell me now how you helping Jamaicans in the diaspora to prosper. The ones that want to sleep on State Road 7 and Oakland Park. How you going to help those people? The ones in New York where they're walking on snow the other day and homeless and have mental issues. How you going to help those people? How have you helped those people? The ones who we know after a turnaround and as a community I try to provide some assistance. How have you helped those people? How? You haven't helped them, and you know why you haven't helped them? Not because you cannot, but because it wasn't designed for you to help them. It wasn't designed for you to help them. But you know what? God not sleep. And we are going to do what we do, and we are going to show the people how things should be done. God bless Andre Stevens. Find a house for a lady. And I mean, I'm sure the family is happy. And I'm sure that, you know, within himself, he must feel accomplished. And I hope that God will continue to bless him so that he can give many more homes to people, because he's doing what the government has failed to do. He's doing what the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council has failed to do. He's doing what a whole bunch of them failed to do. One man. You see the difference? You see the difference?
Rattigan, if the government had matched Andre Stevens, what Andre Stevens did since Melissa, just the one person, do you know how many more persons would have been assisted?
I agree. I don't know. It would be a lot. It would be a lot.
I know. And double that with the work of the artists and the other local persons on the ground who have assisted. Can you imagine if they now elevated themselves, brought themselves and brought the resources of the government to bear and to match those persons with what they were doing? We wouldn't be talking about persons still sleeping on the tarpaulin.
True.
So it's not a lack of, it is not because there is no persons with the know-how to get things done. Government just don't care. They don't care.
Listen, ask any politician. And you know, you can ask any politician in the world, but we're focused on Jamaica. Ask any politician in Jamaica. What is your purpose as a parliamentarian? What is your purpose? And I am going to hazard a guess that most, if not all of them, when they start explaining, you will hear the word service in their explanation, or serve, that they're there to serve the people. Well, do it. Serve the people. But what we find out is that they're serving themselves. A lot of them, they're serving themselves.
They're serving themselves.
Yet, they tell you...
Because how many of them, Rattigan, how many of them are developers? How many of them are gas station owners? How many of them are supermarket owners? How many of them have businesses? How many of them, their businesses were destroyed by Melissa, and yet their businesses now have been fixed and up and running? How many of them have started new businesses since Melissa? And you still have people sleeping on the tarpaulin. Please.
And another thing is, how many of them have reached out to the communities they serve and tried to mentor some of the people
exactly
to say, come,
exactly.
I'm going to put my wings and show you what it's like to serve, so that you one day may rise to the occasion and start serving your people. OT is right.
Exactly.
They need to put self in front of the service. It's self-service them I deal with.
I
use that one. OT. Thank you. Self-service. Yeah, them not service. Self-service. They must serve themselves. So, you know, it is these people, them just make me sick. But you know what?
Again, I thought where OT said, back to the question, why help Jamaica? Because the economy is growing. Remember, the minister said that the unemployment rate is better than many countries in the world, not most countries in the world, including developed countries, you know.
Lowest, yes.
Lowest.
But you run come developed country and I beg money.
Make it make some sense. So you see, how can that be true?
Look at that. In crime rate low, the GDP rate low, right? Economy booming. Poverty rate is going down. Everything is great. So why are you coming to America to beg money?
Hand in hats, on your knees and elbows.
Jamaica, the poster child for resilience, you know, right? So you should be coming here to teach the Americans, or go to the UK and teach the people in the UK, or the Canadians, teach them how to be resilient. You don't go there and beg money.
They should be reaching out to the minister, the prime minister.
We forget about the phone. Yeah.
They should be reaching out to the prime minister and the minister and asking them for guidance as to how they can come out of this crisis, because the crisis in the Middle East, they need to reach out to them and ask them how they can deal with it.
Indeed.
And then,
Indeed.
wait, Rattigan, wait. And you now have the Minister of Transportation saying they're going to have a COVID-style lockdown.
Make it make sense, right? It can't make sense.
Rattigan, who is the dunce, the fool, and the idiot? Who is dunce, dark, and stupid?
See,
Dunce,
Oh
they
my
are
God.
dark, and they are stupid. They are dunce,
Oh
they
my
are
God.
dark, and they are
Lord
stupid.
have mercy.
I am dark, I am stupid.
Yeah.
This is it's just crazy. Then another thing that came out, something came out this week in the PAC. Me never know so much money you will owe the government of Jamaica. And when I look a small man owe money, you see them haul and pull him up.
Yes, yes.
OT away there. This? Let me see.
Yes, the files we can't miss. Them walk out of the hospital and go up on Mona Road. No, seriously, help me. How can those, first we hear rainfall and we top some files, right? And I would like that report, right? Formally. But how can so many files be missing? Somebody take them out of the hospital and go somewhere with them?
Thank you, Auditor General. Mr. Chairman, members of the Public Accounts Committee, good morning. This performance audit was undertaken in response to whistleblowers' concerns regarding administration and management of certain operational activities at the university. An area of significant non-submission of standard procurement.
I mean, this sounds like a runaway train, where somebody just on a frolic of their own can spend taxpayers' money like it's the Wild Wild West. It can't be so. So I know the minister set up some committee to look at the governance. This has to be part of the terms of reference going forward. Now, I know you is unique, but let me ask you this. What arrangement exists, for example, in the other hospitals like KPH, Spanish Town, where the government has full and total responsibility from a governance perspective?
There's a board of directors that manages the affairs of those institutions.
Which part of more the money?
Of the university of West Indies itself, the minister, paid by the minister.
Okay, so the majority from the university and not the ministry. And could I ask you, in terms of I know you may not know the exact figures, but the funding that comes to the hospital, what is the breakdown between what the university provides versus what the government of Jamaica provides?
The government provides 68% of the budget.
68% of the budget. Yeah. So the board membership should reflect that and not have the university have the majority.
Embed it in their control and governance process, which is what needs to be done.
That is correct, Auditor General.
All right, thank you. Again, so your follow-up is to provide for us a report once you get the facts as to the 780 transactions that were not uploaded, what size those were, and why those were not uploaded.
Okay, Chairman.
All right, I go into key finding 3, which must be the most egregious of them. So somebody have helped me explain this one. The absence of procurement documentation. The University Hospital of the West Indies could not provide procurement documentation for 51 contracts. However, since then, 28 files valued at 269 million have been found, which means that we can't find 22 and one is incomplete. So, and that the 22 that can be found is 246 million and one incomplete is 18 million. So again, just explain to us as a committee, when a procurement is completed, what is the process to put that document, whether it's physical storage, online on a server? Just explain that process to me. Because this, well, I'm starting with the acting CEO and you can delegate, but this one to me is the worst one, that you just can't find documents. Even after the Auditor General has been in, you have found about half of them. And obviously you've been looking for the rest and you can't find them. So help us, Mr. Hosing.
The member asked where were they. When I took up the position, I insisted that they must find them. And they were able to locate the 28, and then after submitting those 28, they found one more, make it 29. They have so far been unable to locate anymore. They were in storage, in a story room, but it was never provided to the auditors. When they came, even after requesting it, they did not provide it to them. But I insisted that they should. I don't think there was, I wasn't there, so I can't tell you whether it was resistance or what, member. It could have been, lack of diligence and searching and insistence, but they were able to locate.
I thought this one was the one with that's one 2 weeks ago. The one with the huge debt that they discussed, that's a couple of days ago. We'll get to that this Saturday. But as you can tell right there, this is a joke. It's a joke. You can't find files. You can't find this, you that. It's a circus.
Why do you think there's a joke, Rattigan? Why do you think? Which ministry does UHWI fall under?
Health.
Who is the public relations minister for that ministry?
The public relations PhD, one who used to teach, at UHWI, who was involved with Market Me, who was referred to the Speaker of the House for
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So there should be no surprises there. No surprises there. And the Auditor General did say that this ministry, 840 billion?
Let me ask you something.
Is unaccounted for?
I tried to describe him, but I think you're referring to this gentleman here.
Wait up in West Indies. This man said, turn it on. Hey, baby. Jimmy, I miss you. Oh, my lips wanna easy. All you wanna go. To my surprise, you right there. Oh, my little dirty. I wrote this line for you, baby. Oh, my little dirty green. Hey, baby, right. I realize I love you still.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing with Market Me, they did not need an entity like that in the Ministry of Health because they already had one there.
Indeed. They had one already, yes.
So that was a duplication of funds.
And Market Me got all direct contracts.
Yes.
No competitive.
Yes. There was no procurement. Yes. Right. But when they talk about the difficulty of procurements, when did the government find out that they have procurement issues? And who is supposed to rectify all these red tapes that stand in the way of any agency doing things in a way that is transparent and in accordance with good governance? Isn't it the job of the legislators to put in place those changes in laws and legislate to make sure the procurement rules and guidelines are not as stringent and cumbersome, so much so it hinders the progress and anything to do with the ability of any agency or organization to procure, whether it's on behalf of their company or the government. So to say that there is an issue there is kind of redundant because they are the government. They did not just become government September 3rd, They have been there for 10 years. What have they done to fix the problem? If they have done nothing to fix the problem, because they say one of the reasons they are unable to spend the capital budget on infrastructure is because of the procurement rules. Yeah, you have been saying that for years now. So what has been done to fix that? Nothing? Then if nothing has been done to fix that, then clearly they are comfortable with all the red tape and all the bureaucracy that is in place, because then it allows for the picking of the pockets of the taxpayers, and nothing comes of it.
Africa.
Stop this evening. A shocking revelation was made to the country today that the University Hospital of the West Indies owes the government over.
Where is it? Africa Contents, right? So the bottom line is they have no respect for us at all. And the funny thing about it is that we allow it to happen. Indeed,
Yes.
we do.
Agreed.
Indeed, we do. We do allow it to happen. OT, all right, we're on
$40 billion in outstanding taxes and penalties.
The information was revealed during the sitting of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, PAC, still looking at the Auditor General's report on the entity.
And as Andrea Chisholm reports, funds are still missing to substantiate millions of dollars in government contracts.
The UHWI is still in the line of fire due to several procurement breaches and other related matters identified by the Auditor General. Back in the hot seat on Tuesday, PAC Chairman Julian Robinson posed this question to UHWI's Acting Chief Executive Officer Eric Hosen. He was appointed in January this year.
Mr. Hosen, can you say whether the University Hospital has an up-to-date tax compliance certificate?
We have a tax compliance certificate that we are operating under now.
Is it up to date?
It expires on May 6th. It is, in terms of tax compliance, as I shared at the last meeting, that we are owing a significant amount of funds to the government.
What is the figure that is owed by the hospital to the government of Jamaica?
The amount owing to TAJ and other agencies is in excess of $40 billion.
40 billion?
That is correct.
No man. Julian not hear what the man say, no. Julian not hear the man say. The man said a few words before we get to 40. Let me play it again so I can't hear.
It is in excess of $40 billion.
40
amount owing to TAJ and other agencies is in excess of $40 billion.
40 billion?
No, Julian, you should say in excess of 40 billion. That's what I'm trying to say. It's more than 40 billion. That people, 40 billion. Them and guess what?
Yes.
Remember now what I'm saying? No, the Jamaica government pour what? Them pour what? 58% him say or 68% into University Hospital. The rest of the money come from CARICOM. The last time I checked, it was 70%. Them said 70%, approximately 70% of the operating costs for the University Hospital is funded by Jamaican taxpayers and 30% from CARICOM.
That is correct. Just to clarify, Chair,
yes, please.
That the 40 billion include interest and penalties.
So if you take out interest and penalties, what would that figure be?
It was approximately $18 billion.
18 billion, the same as the tax package for this year.
Mr. Hosen was unable to say how much of the roughly $18 billion represented employee deductions for NIS and NHD. He promised to provide the information to the committee. In response to concerns from the PAC chairman that employees may have a hard time getting NHD or NIS benefits.
As we speak, no one has had a problem in accessing their benefits because we have made arrangements, and no one has been denied a benefit based on our record for both NIS and for NHD.
So what is the plan going forward to clear the arrears?
Just to let you know, Mr. Chair, that we are now current with our payment for NIS and NHD. So every month we are paying that amount. However, we don't have enough money to pay the other tax obligations.
Is there a payment plan that has been worked out with TAJ?
No, Mr. Chair.
So you have no payment plan, but you say you have an up-to-date TCC without a payment plan?
We have a temporary TCC, Mr. Chair.
And that holds for how long?
Until May the 6th.
Sis, you see when I watch this, I want to jump out of my chair. Because you see when him say him for TCC, I'm going to ask him, where is it?
Yes.
Me not accept nothing what them say. So every statement we make as a statement of fact, him have to give me the evidence to support that fact. So when him say we have a temporary this, we have a temporary that, and if you listen to how him craft him answers, we are going to do this and we're the no, I want to know what you not what you're going to do, what you do now. what you're doing now. And going back to one quick point before I finish play this, sis. You had mentioned about efficiency, government efficiency, cutting red tape and doing this and passing laws to make sure procurement and all these other things they fall in line. You know, sis, if you go back and you look at the 2016 manifesto, then candidate Andrew Holness and the JLP party promised that back in 2016. And then it came to 2020. And it came to 2025. And you know what they did? They appointed Audrey Marks to be the paragon of efficiency. She's the minister, the Doge minister. She should be there. I would have asked her in front of this panel and said, well, you see what going? What have you engaged these people, and what is the plan going forward to get rid of all of this nonsense going on here so that we can be efficient? I would have her in at a hall and pull her in every committee and say, you in charge of efficiency for the government, so tell us what you're gonna do. You're hearing
and here's the thing. This is monies that they've collected, and did not pay over into NHT and tax, all those other deductions. These are monies already collected. So my question is, where are they getting this money to make up for that which they did not pay?
Right. They get money to make up for what they didn't pay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a joke thing.
When I listen to this thing, I said, why, my mother used to tell me, self-praise is no recommendation, but sometimes you have to blow the trumpet, You have to blow your own trumpet. You can't wait for people to come do it for you. And I say, if me didn't have the parliament, I tell you, they would have a hell, because you know what happened? The first thing, sis, first thing me had with me going up, when we going to parliament, me I go master the standing rules, the standing orders. Me I go master that book there. So you same time me get up and talk. Me only get up and talk when it's necessary. But when we get up and talk, people are going to listen, because they're going to know, say, well, brother now coming a full thing and an emotional thing. He might come straight and he might come with the facts. And he might come prepared. And that is what I don't see enough preparation done. I don't see it. I'm seeing flashes of it. But I want to see a consistent, bright light as far as preparation is concerned. I mean, not see a flicker. It just flicker and me not see it. But anyway, we could just finish it.
And you anticipate that is going to be renewed in the absence of a payment plan to deal with the outstanding sums?
I cannot say, Mr. Chair.
Discussions will be held with the Finance Ministry on the matter. In the meantime, the Auditor General also pointed out that the UHWI could not provide procurement documentation for 51 contracts valuing $521 million. Since then, 28 contract files have been found, but 22 files valuing $267 million are still missing. At a previous committee,
hold on there. Found? They said found?
Yes, it was lost.
Found.
Remember Rattigan? Remember they just discovered filing cabinets the other day,
No, say so.
And they put and they put their files in the filing cabinets. And they now found 28 other files.
You know something, sis? You know something? I don't. You see, all of them, with them, half of them find files. You know what? If I'm me I go examine them files. You just now go give me a file and say so and so. There are things that you can do technology-wise with some of these files. Like for example, you can test the ink and get a sense.
Yeah, the forensic. Yes.
When the ink they touch the paper there, and the kind of the instrument you use, what kind of pen you use. And what kind of ink you can do all them things when you amass evidence and you look. No.
Yeah. The meeting, a UHWI representative indicated that 3 flooding incidents in a holding area of the hospital were partially responsible.
Based on our investigation, there was some damage. However, there was no destruction of any files.
All right. So, in essence, then, while there would have been damage would not have prevented you from having access to the file, even if the file got wet. So, the flooding could not explain the absence of the files then.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
With the mystery of the missing files still unsolved, investigations continue. The authorities are hoping to reconstruct the files by the end of April with the information available. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
Let me tell the Auditor General. Let me tell her. I'm just Auditor General. You're looking to the National Rural School Bus Program. Here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to look at the invoice. Clue, just a clue. I want you to look at the invoices. And then I want you to go and interview the people responsible for bringing the buses into Jamaica, particularly the brokers. And I want you to ask the broker to give you all documentation relating to the invoice. And I want you to subpoena all of the records, digital records, telephone records, regarding the correspondence between those people and the people overseas. Because mark my words, Auditor General, something is not right there. Something is not right. We're not even talking about bank accounts now, We're just talking about the documents that came in. Were those documents doctored? Were those doctors manipulated? Keep that in mind as you look at these documents. And if you want further information, Auditor General, call me. Call me. I have some things that I can share with you. Call me. Because
yeah, she
go ahead, sis.
No, I was saying she can just skip that. Just call you and go to the people who sold the buses.
We have all of that information there.
Yeah, just go straight to the source.
And what you need to do is go to the broker, grab the computer, and them can't do them on just either upon the server. Them can't get rid of that. Subpoena.
Yeah, but the sellers, Rattigan, the sellers have to keep their documents.
Yeah, we'll have that over here. We
Right.
have that record,
So they can, because on the other side they will doctor it and give you all kind of stupidness. But the sellers have to present the documents as the real documents, the original. The original will have the correct information, not something that came out of somebody's head, the correct information. And from there, she go forward. You have to work backwards to go forward.
You know where the documents were doctored? Originally they started here, but you know where the real doctoring took place? In Jamaica.
Yes.
In Jamaica, the real doctoring took place.
Yes.
And
that's why I said, go to the source, go to the sellers, not the buyers, go to the sellers.
But here's what happened. There are people here who did things based on the doctoring down in Jamaica. There's Auditor General. Look, we are going to the phone line on Auditor General, but give me a call. I'm going to share with you what I have. I'm going to tell you where to look, to tell you where you're going to find, and trust me, Auditor General, trust me on this one. You are going to find what I'm telling you exists. Trust me. All right, people, the phone line open. 667.
Yeah, but before you go to the phone line, Rattigan, the billboard that was standing outside or posted outside of the UHWI says, "Your health is your responsibility." And that could never be couldn't be a true statement. Because I would think it would be the other way around. Given it's a medical institution, your health or responsibility. But it says your health, your responsibility. And that is 100% correct. Because it's their responsibility. They walk in there, they might not come back out.
See there?
And you're talking about the UHWI. Can you imagine what is going on at Cornwall Regional, Rattigan?
You know, Cornwall Regional, you can't. You know what? That report is supposed to come out this year. That report is supposed to come out. The Auditor General was looking at. It's supposed to come out this year. So between Cornwall Regional and the school bus.
If we think UHWI is bad, I am just positing to say that we think Cornwall Regional is going to blow UHWI out of the water, because the amount of cost overruns at that institution, and it is still yet to be completed. I mean, I would not like to be one of the persons in the hot seat, because that's a debacle right there.
Why, people, the phone line open, 667-369-8569. If we not get no call, we're going to send the program. That means that if we not get no call, it means I understand everything perfectly well. I don't have no questions, and you guys are going on, can go out now as ambassadors, as disciples, as apostles, and just preach the word to your neighbor, your family member, your co-worker, your parishioner, your church.
No.
Right? So
no, or it means that they believe what the Prime Minister said, and Minister Terlang said that the country is doing exceptionally well. Even Colonel Charles Jr. said it, that they are doing so well that people have reached out to them to find out from them how it is they have been mastering how they got to, their recovery. And I'm like thinking to myself, what recovery?
The truth said that Ratty could you make that call to the Auditor General. Truth, you know what? The truth be told, I wrote to the Auditor General. And I provided certain things in the correspondence. And I told the Auditor General that I am ready to give her all of the stuff I have. And I tell her I don't seek anonymity. She not go through no whole heap of lens for I say, well then, she try and hide my identity. And in fact, what I said is that, look, I can give you the stuff and you don't have to say Rattigan gave it to you. You can use it as intelligence. It is just what it is. Use it as an indication of where you should look. So she can take the information and then she can go to FID, the Egmont group, or she can go to, or on her own, she can reach out to some of these places, work with international partners. She can even go through Integrity Commission. There are lots of avenues she can use it. But what happened is that she can, because you're going to need something. They have something called what do they call it? It's slipping now. The chain of custody, right? She's going to need something in her position. But ideally, what you want, you don't want something coming from Rattigan and end up in a report. What you want is something coming from somebody else, but somebody else at Rattigan pointed you in the direction. Now, Rattigan's name and his assistants will never be mentioned in the report. But you will know, because once you get the stuff, you say, oh, I see where he's sending me. He's telling me that this guy got the buses for this price, and then he did this, and then Jamaica did that, and so I know where to start looking, so it makes her job easier. That's what it does. But she won't be able to use my name and put it in there and say Rattigan gave me this and whatnot. But it will guide her as to where she should be looking, because for some of these things she won't know where to look. She won't know. But Jamaica, I stand ready to help the Auditor General. I stand ready to help any well-thinking, well-meaning person who's against corruption. I am here. Reach out and touch me. So the phone number there, 667-369-8569. Some of you were telling me last time, I can't get through. Well, nobody's calling me right now. The phone, let me say, hold on. It's up. Yes, it's working. So, only can call. 667-369-8569. OT, is there anything else you want to show while we wait? Is there anything else?
Post-cabinet first briefing, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz said between March 12 and April 8, 2026, the full increase in transport fuel prices averaged approximately $49.20 per litre. However, only $18 per litre was passed on to consumers. Now, based on government's price cap at $4.50 per litre, week up or down.
Cabinet has considered a revised new tiering pricing mechanism designed to allow for control and predictable adjustments, maintain consumer protection for smaller increases, enable greater flexibility during larger global price.
Let me ask my Jamaican people something now. Let me ask them. You understand what I'm just done say?
No.
You don't really understand what I'm just done say? Hold on then. Hold on, where go now? Hold on. Yeah, caller, go ahead. Hold on. I'll try to get you up here. Hold on now. All right. Me can't. Go night. Yes, sir. Yes.
Good program. Keep up good. What is NARA?
Nara.
You tell me.
Sister, you must tell us what is Nara.
All right, in my view, it's a piece of hard bureaucracy.
Nara, we found out last night on Mystic, right? That Nara was supposed to be streamlining and coming up with ideas as for the bill back based on but NARA has not what NARA is ended up doing now. NARA is doing what PIOJ is supposed to be doing. NARA is doing what Audra Marx's portfolio is supposed to be doing. NARA is doing what ADPEM is supposed to. It's just
Ministry of Labor and Local Government.
It's a big government that
what it is, and I think I said, look, it's my opinion that it's just a way to siphon our funds, funnel different avenues so that people you can't check everything, because they tell you 1 minute that PIOJ is a clearinghouse for all of this, right? Then all of a sudden it's not PIOJ, then it became ADPEM. Then we hear that but we have Minister Marks, she's a Doge person, she's supposed to be involved in the mix. Then we hear them create another one, NARA. Isn't this the Prime Minister who in 2016 said, we are not creating any more ministries, we're going to consolidate ministries? And in that same document, what did he do? He created the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Same document him create, the one where him say we're not creating no more, him create, and then when him do a few years later, him create Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs and spend over $1 billion. I try to get that up and running. And where is it now?
Exactly.
It's created in Ministry of Justice. People. But I tell you, but we just want to thank you for calling in and thanks for the support. And go ahead.
Good work. Keep up good work.
Thank you very much.
And I'm ready to. We need to start with some in the street now.
I agree with you. We need to start. Yeah, we're talking enough of time for now for just start. Really. Way too quiet. Thank you very much for the call and take care. And give my regards to everybody. Yes. Bolo father. Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. Me tell Bolo I'm father support the thing and call. Thank you very much, man. Much appreciated. All right, cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, man. Bolo, your father tune in, so where you the Bolo? You have to follow your father in a Bolo. Me not see up on the thing in a Bolo. What a guan. But anyway, people say the proposed Minister of Ours. How many of you understand what I'm saying? How many of you? And they say,
But you don't understand because they're dunce, dark, and stupid.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
Dark and they're stupid. They're dunce.
Oh
they're
my God.
dark and they're stupid.
So you know that means him can't tell you anything because that's how them feel about it. Him just say,
Yes,
me can't tell
100%.
you anything because them
True
dumb
that.
and stupid. And him come up with this prepared script and start to read it and things like that. I mean, no, it's not that people, it's not that you have to meet people where they are. And way man, him don't want to meet you know. So you see what him do? Him gonna whip us now, gonna talk about some things with some big $10, $100 word and phrasing where people don't understand. So that is our job now. We now have to break it down for our people, to make them him no fool or no. Caller, good night. Welcome to Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Mr. Rattigan, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for calling. Is this my lady from the East?
Exactly, sir.
Okay, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Miss Magazine, how are you, Miss Daisy?
I am very well, my love. Good to have you on the show. How are you doing?
I am all right, thank you. And
Wonderful.
Mr. Rattigan, something's bothering me all week. It doesn't sit well with me. I'm not sure if you know if anything was put in place to prevent the school children from viewing any more sexual escapade.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, the children do not need to witness any sexcapade. Not those kind of, it's not a part of their curriculum. I'm positive about that. Right? It really breaks my heart to see the children being subjected to live porno. To me, that was just live porno. Okay? And why not go to, the greenhouse hotels, aka the bushes? If their hormones are
Greenhouse hotel.
I don't see that doesn't sit well with me. What they need to do is to please stop force raping both the boys and the girls, allowing them to they should allow them to transition into woman and boyhood. People who were asking proof to see the tapes.
Movie theater, and that was dumb for the government, to allow those things. Those things are dumb. Okay, we're the people. The peoples that came in. I understand it from the storm, but what I'm saying is, were they even checked to make sure none coming in, were like a pedophile or maybe, people like those to mingle with these children, It's very, very sad, and I didn't like it one bit to see what was happening, okay? Please remember, sexual disease are very, very high right now, They don't even have proper hospital for the less fortunate. But Mr. Andrew Holness.
But hold on a second, Miss Northeast. Before you go any further, let me just say something. Let me just interject and say this. You're concerned about children being exposed to intimacy between consenting adults. Well, we don't know if they're consenting, but between adults, right? No. Here's why I'm not even surprised about this. Do you remember that there was a man? In fact, it was a white man, I can't remember his name, who came to Jamaica claiming that he's there to help at-risk young women. You remember that he abused, at least allegedly abused women, and then what happened? He escaped. He left the country. And he's back in America. And then the question is, where is the extradition request? Where's the letters rogatory? Where are the diplomatic things necessary to have this man return and face charges? Because those things exist. So how come we haven't engaged the U.S. government with this? How come? So that's why I'm not surprised with this happening, because this man come and had his way, based on the reports that we heard, he had his way with these at-risk young ladies, and then the government just jump on a plane and that's it, scot-free. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to interject there, but go ahead with it.
That's fine.
Go ahead with
fine.
it. You were about to talk about the Prime Minister.
Yes, I recall the man, and he states that he was a teacher. And that man is a Caucasian man. I remember that.
Okay.
And he was someplace down in the western end of Jamaica, and they allow him to do that. But let me ask, Mr. Andrew Holness, what structural plan will you be putting in place to prevent any such thing happening again? Okay, and it's not only for this school, it's for all the schools. You can't just have a stranger. No, you know what? Bottom line is they need to get them out of the school. Right.
But one second, Miss Natis. The truth, I can't bother to waste time working on an extraction. We have money to go to. You know what? Yeah, that's the feeling. That's the government on the government side. But think about it like this: if you can't protect, or if you won't protect some of the most vulnerable people in your society, what does that say about you? What does that say about you? The man was there, and they got the report that he was abusing these women,
Yes.
He was there, and then they make him jump on a plane and get away. And then they don't follow up. So the truth, you're right. Them just can't bother with extradition because they say we have more important things to do, like, stuffing our pockets with money.
With money.
Go ahead, Miss Nazi.
Yes, to go use the Melissa destruction to collect money. Andrew Holness, we don't want you here in New York City. Don't come here and try to rip people off. And that's exactly what he's doing.
Miss Northeast is coming with his hat in his hands on bended knees and elbows. Okay? Whip out your pocketbook. Whip out your checkbook, your dollars and whatever. Make it rain, baby. Make it rain.
Oh, yes. I'll make it rain. I'll make something else rain on him instead. Listen, you guys, I love you guys. Let me get off for someone else to call in, please.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
I see where OT said in the chat, Rattigan, that Andrew and said fellow Jamaicans must take in the homeless. Has he started to do that?
I beg your pardon?
OT said, Andrew said, fellow Jamaicans must take in the homeless. Has he started it? How many persons has he housed?
House? You forget to have a bomb threat time house. You forget that him never have no place to go, you remember? Never have a bomb threat, you remember? You're mad? Care people. People, the number to call is 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. We're waiting on your call. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon. So this is a chance for you to call in and engage us, hear your grouses, come up with your solutions, and let's have a fruitful discussion about our island paradise, Jamaica, that's been run by a set of I don't know, some people call them criminals, some people call them incompetents. I prefer to call them round square pegs trying to fit in round holes. That's a nice way of saying a lot of things. So call me, let me know what your feelings are. But OT, please put up back Mr. Vaz again, Minister Vaz.
As of today, the new pricing mechanism is as follows. Based on the war in the Middle East, it has become necessary to make changes to the pricing mechanism used by Petrojam to respond to the pricing uncertainty. A tiered approach is being implemented, which will see petroleum prices being more closely aligned to global price movements. This will allow Petrojam to be more agile and respond in a more timely.
Hold on, you see that part there? A tested approach, a tiered approach is being implemented, which will see petroleum prices being more closely aligned to global price movements. You know what that? You know what I said to now? Get ready for peer prices at the pump for gas that will be reflective of the $110, whatever it is, barrel of gas, not 60 as projected based on the budget. It's now twice that. It's 120. So I'm telling you that all of that gobbledygook and all of the blah blah blah, this will allow Petroleum to be more agile and respond in a more timely manner to price volatility. All that means is that we are going to raise the price pound. That's
Rattigan, stick up in right there. Wouldn't it be better for the government to rescope the budget and rescope it and using an increased cost for oil per barrel? Because when they first cast the budget, it was at 60, a high 56 minimum, low 60s dollar per barrel, which was wrong to begin with, because that wasn't a sensible way to have gone about it. So wouldn't it be better for them to then recast the budget to accommodate the increases and then work into it a system of protection for the Jamaican people? That meaning putting in some policies. How are you going to help the persons on PATH program? How are you going to help people with their electricity bill? How are you going to help to alleviate some of the pressures at the pump, some of the pressures that people will face buying day-to-day items, food items, medication, all of that?
Well, that's an idea. That's an idea. I hope they're listening. OT asks, what power electricity in Jamaica, oil or coal? It's liquefied natural gas and oil. Liquefied natural gas and oil.
They might go start building them coal skill.
But here is something that they should here's something that we mustn't forget. People would tend to forget these things. Remember, the Prime Minister said they might go build a hydroelectric plant where they might take water from the sea and bring it up to the mountain, to the hills. I think a Clarendon him say more do it. And then it run down back. And when it run down back, it will bring water and not only potable water, but it will also end up with electricity. Nobody not challenging upon them things there.
When did he say that?
He said it during this last election cycle.
Okay, election done.
What the plan? We're going to the budget.
What plan?
Look, going to the
it's
budget.
Not in the budget.
For that. Is there a plan for that, not the budget? Because that's one of the problems they made.
No. There are no plans in the budget for the 2026-2027 financial year to deal with issues facing Jamaicans, especially after Hurricane Melissa. And given that we are 2 months outside of another hurricane season.
I don't know who voted for him, especially people in a cis part of the world. Clarendon, who I think it's Clarendon, him say more bring the water from they might bring the water, bring it up and then send it down. And me said, this man, this is in my dream, man. In my dream, because them now where them get money for do that. And them actually some of the money we're supposed to do that, them actually appeal to themselves. That's a pipe dream. But people, where are the journalists? Where are the reporters in Jamaica? Where are they to say, Mr. Prime Minister, you promised this, but we don't see it in the budget? What happened? What about you're the one I know, we're going to mash him up now. Desalination plants. Want to the desalination plants or with them promise?
Promises are compared to a fool, and they should have realized that. But you said the Prime Minister said that they was going to build this, take the water from the sea and bring it up into Clarendon. You forget that the State Department said, Clarendon, don't stop at all. How can they?
You're right. Don't stop at all.
Don't stop at all. So I am not surprised that it's just a pipe dream.
Manner to price volatility.
A sharp rebuke this afternoon from the government amid claims by opposition MPs in Western Jamaica about the poor execution of recovery or hurricane recovery efforts. The opposition says victims in areas hardest hit by Melissa have yet to receive assistance. The PNP also pointed to gaps in the roofs program, which the MPs contend has led to persons not being assessed. However, speaking at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing, Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. rejected the claims.
There are efforts to mix truth with exaggeration and lies. And that causes a lot of confusion for the public who ultimately, because they don't know what is true, sometimes fall into disdain.
On the issue of transparency, the minister argued that status updates are posted in real time on the minister's website.
Now let's break it down. And again, I go to the dashboard. Of the 113,234 in this real-time update we're receiving right now, there are 5 levels of assessments. No damage, no significant damage, minor, major, and severe. And this is, again, another point of contention that must be clarified. We have said it before, but let me say it again. Not all persons who are assessed will receive a grant under roofs or under the shelter recovery program, because if you fall into the no damage or no significant damage categories, you will not receive a benefit. The benefit goes to minor, major, and severe. And we have 1,785 persons who we did assess, but they were assessed as no damage. They would have received some.
Listen, it's very simple. Very simple. 5 levels, right? And 2 levels, you don't get no money. So where do people? Come on, my Jamaican people. Come on. 5 levels. 2 levels, you get no money. You get no assistance. You know what to do? You have 3 levels you can fit in. Fit in the 3 levels. Me not have to tell you what to do. Just fit in the 3 levels. So make him go and talk.
Support, perhaps packages or other support, but they will not receive support for infrastructural development because it is not needed. Similarly, we have 9,958 persons with no significant damage, and many of them are being told by persons that they should agitate for grants despite knowing that they are not in the categories that should receive that benefit. Do not be used as a political tool. Not.
This man here is
Garbage.
Disappointing. We call him garbage.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Larkland said, well, if they're only going to provide benefits for 3, why come up with 5, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, start and say, well, this and but here's the other thing too. Keep in mind that some of this might be very subjective. Like the person doing the assessment might say, well, and you can see right away, you can see the avenue for corruption right here. You can see it. Let me give a quick example. In South Africa, they had something called willing buyer, willing seller, right? Because the government said, okay, we have to give back land to black people because, they said land was stolen and kept in families for generations. But those lands actually rightfully belong to black people. So I said, okay, fine. We'll come up with a plan now. We're going to come up with willing seller, willing buyer. So what they did was they said, all right, we're going to have a huge pool of money and we're going to go to the farmers, the white farmers, and we're going to buy the farm from them and turn it over to black people. What do you think happened, people? The people who do the assessment went to the white farmers, some of them. And what happened if a farm, for example, if a farm was worth, let's say $1 million, the assessor would say, all right, tell you what, we are going to assess this farm at $2 million. And we're going to give you the 1 million where you're supposed to get, and then we give you like 250,000 on top of it, and the 750 remaining are mine. And guess what? The program went broke because of corruption. So when them have these assessors, okay, I worry about them things when them say them all determined now who's supposed to get from who not forget. I remember now politics are gonna weave it way in and out because and this is what we are here that in certain areas, everybody who get assessed are lots of people who got assessed, them get benefits, and in some other areas, people who got assessed, them not get nothing. So that's why I'm saying to my people, listen, in tell the in 5 categories, but only 3 that you can get, 3 that you can get something out of. It's simple. Use your head. Use your head. So what happened? My place now going at the 2 where we now get benefit. It will not be there. My place I go in at one of the 3, more than likely my place I go there at the top one. So people using a wizzy.
No.
But this Nepo baby, Rattigan, he really has no dog in the race now because nobody for him is affected. All right? And he's basically saying, and this is the problem with this administration. They play politics with everything. And then when people come out and say, this is the problem on the ground, they say, no, you're playing politics on, this is what we see, and look at the phone, look at what we're putting in place on the internet. How many people don't know us can access what they have on their on the internet, have internet access, first of all. But this is my question to him. Is this Nepo baby, Charles Jr., saying that what people are experiencing on the ground in real time does not exist?
Yeah. But this is, sis, and therein lies my point. This, I believe, was post-cab, right? The post-cab briefing. Where are the reporters? Where are the questions?
No, they have yes people. No, they don't have the reporters there. They're not serious people. That's why I say God rest the dead of the soul of Michael Sharp and those serious journalists. These persons are just there to show up and be in a space and say, but they're not serious. They're really, because the question they should be asking the minister is, what about the real life experiences of the people right now who are sleeping in cars, who are sleeping on the tarpaulins? That is real. It's not a figment of anybody's imagination. It is not politics. And the MPs who live in these communities, who are coming out of these communities and telling you that this is happening, you cannot look at them and tell them that they're playing politics. And you cannot look at them and talk about what lies and this thing about misinformation and lies. Cut that bullshit out and get down to brass tacks. People are feeling it. So it cannot be him saying, believe what I tell you, but not your lived experience. This is a joke now. It is a joke. And that's why people like him should never be in the position. You need to earn the positions in life. This is not merit. This is Nepo baby business. So he doesn't have a clue what is happening on the ground. He's not affected. Nobody for him is affected. Nobody.
All right. Caller? Hold on a second. She can't hear you. Hold on. May I try connect up this thing here? Hold on. This thing, I want to go it function. Oh, wait. Don't say it too loud. People will hear you. People will hear you. Hold on. All right. Go night, let me hear you. Hold on, man. Hold on, I'm not here yet. Hold on, let me just go back to the phone itself. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on there. Miss Philly. Hello? No, let me call that. Miss Philly, pick up your phone. Miss Philly have too much fun at work with, you know. She have too much fun at work with, yeah. Let me call her again.
Hello.
Yeah, Miss Philly, welcome.
Good night again. Good night, Miss Daisy.
Good night, Miss Philly. Walk on, girl.
Mr. Rattigan,
Yes.
you asked the question, why is it that certain things is happening within the government?
Hold on,
You
before you go any
wonder.
further, sis ask you what is going on with you, you know, answer. Maybe you didn't hear.
I'm not hearing because me not hear you and you wasn't hearing.
No, she just ask you right now.
By this phone. I am okay, Miss Daisy.
Okay, wonderful.
All right,
I'm here.
go night now.
Oh, yes, yeah. Sorry for that. You have been asking the question earlier. You don't understand why the government, not moving forward, why things are what it is like. What Rattigan, we have been talking, myself and others have been wondering, why is the government not making any move? Why is things so stalled? No, it's a system, a systematic culture within their organization that they keep using all the time they're in power. And without system change, it's going to continue. It has to change. For change to come, Andrew Holness gotta go because he's not going to do. And again, they fail to identify who the culprits are within the system who is doing all of these things. Andrew is the primary person, and his other members of parliament, some. And we know who they are already. We need not call no name. No. For this system to continue the way it is, there is an underlying issue, or there can be many more underlying issues to the problem, which they see, they know, but they fail to do anything. And the root of it is anti-honest, the government, the system, how he's running the country, and he doesn't care.
Let me ask you a question,
Oh.
Ms. Philly. And I want to pose this question to everybody listening and to Sister Maria as well. You mentioned system. Is Andrew Holness created as a result of the system within which he's operating, or is Andrew Holness just a wicked, evil, vile person? Is that his nature, or is it he's just acting within the confines of the system? And when I say the system, I'm talking about the political system and the social system, including the fact that Jamaicans are not coming out in their numbers and standing up and raising their voices against what are draconian policies. Which is it?
It's both, Mr. Rattigan, in that he understands the people. He knows them. That is why Vaz could say they are idiots and they're stupid. Because he comes back a second time and he fools the people. And if we are not careful, he will do it again. And it seems to me that might be the path he's on right now. Because remember back that during the COVID and a little after that, nobody hears anything from this prime minister. And that is the reason why Clifton had his way with the health system. No accountability. And he seems like he might be having the same thing that he moves the people, and he comes around when he wants to, and he offers them this and he offers them that. It has happened twice, and will happen again if we are not careful. And to me, it seems like that's the path he might be on. Why is he so stalled? Why is he so silent? Why is nothing happening? So I'm seeing both. The people themselves is a part of it. He understands who they are. He takes advantage of the situation. And then he's an evil person too. If he's an evil person, Mr. Rattigan, in that, let the Christ be in you. And if you really, as according to him, and they say they grew up in church and all of that, no way under the sun you could be so evil. And you hear people talking, you know it is true. You are confessed already in church. And you keep doing the same thing and it's getting worse. He's just evil, he's a devil. So it's both. I see like that.
All right. You know what? I'm just looking here before I have sis jump in. I'm just looking at Ransom McLean. I started chuckling. He said, "I'm still wondering if Conjo's taxes were stolen vehicles." Easy. And then Ubuntu for real said Jamaican people need to stand with who's standing up for them. Yeah.
Definitely, they're not. Most of them, they are not standing with us on the other side. Who is putting our life down? Call it that for them.
All right, hold on, Miss Philly. Sis, you want to jump in? We only have about 14 minutes left.
Yes. It is not 100 because it is not 100% the system, because the system is made up of people. People make the system work. Andrew inherited a democracy at work, flawed, but it was healthier than it is right now. If we recall, many times P.J. Patterson was called everything except a child of God. The same thing for Portia Simpson. And the truth is, the same thing for Edward Seaga. He was called every name in the book except a child. They call him blind, all kind of things. Yet we did not see the kind of retaliation against the Jamaican people as we see now. Andrew used that very same system that was working, though flawed, to get into office. And the minute he got into the position of power, of leadership, he changed the system to suit himself. And therein lies the problem. So it is not, I wouldn't say it's 100% the system. It is the nature of the beast of Andrew Holness. And if you look at the company that he keeps, you can get a sense as to where his political ideology comes from and how he operates. So he has changed the system to suit his narrative. Not change the system, not improve the system for the better, change it for the worse.
Sis, I just want to point out something to your a dear friend of ours, she said, "Your health is your responsibility, should have continued with, enter at your own risk, not responsible for those living in a hearse."
Exactly my point. And they do not even see the irony of it, Rattigan.
It's not a single-handed situation. It's not single-handed.
Exactly, Miss Philip. Exactly. You see, he has abused the system for his own personal gain. He has, because remember now, Miss Philip, this is the same system that when it worked with a different administration, even with their issues of corruption, they put in place policies that benefited the people. It's just that this particular administration has used the system to benefit themselves and not the masses. So much so they would rather have, as a matter of fact, they have an adverse reaction to education. So much so they'd rather destroy the education system. Andrew Willis has not built one school in 10 years. What does that tell you about his leadership? Not one school in 10 years. So that is everything you need to know about this man. He places no value on education for others, only for himself and those within his circle. But for the persons who vote for him and members of his party, there's no value placed on education, none whatsoever. So they use the system. They use the system to benefit themselves. So they are the ones who are the problem, not the system.
Wow.
The flaws, so much. The flaws. And he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. I agree with him, Miss Philly. He doesn't care.
It's his decision.
He's bad man government in Miss Philly.
Say that again, Miss Magazine.
Bad man government.
Yeah, man. Well, let's see where it's gonna end now. It has to have an end. It has a beginning. There must be an end to every solution.
Yes, and every day the bucket is going to the bottom of a well. One day the bottom is going to fall out.
I hope he's prepared to stand for what is to come when it comes for his actions and his doings.
Because it's coming, Miss Philly, it is not, if it's coming, it's a matter of when.
Yeah,
because you cannot keep pushing people and they don't push back.
But you see, sis, if you look at why pre-bigo, it say Andrew would have you kill if anyone opposes him. This man controls the army, JCF, media, and the upper echelon of society, and that's a perception that is very pervasive in the society. And it has engendered fear in people. That's when they say, boy, we can't go against him because, and as a result of that, they're willing to just put up with anything. But like Phyllis said, it can't continue forever. Cannot continue forever. You know, at some point, and you know, if it gets to the point where people get fed up, it not gonna be pleasant. Not gonna be pleasant. Although we not call for anything illegal, anything violent, but it need to do a course correction. But again, I don't think he's going to do it because that's not his nature.
It's not going to happen, Mr. Rattigan. I observe him. I'm observing everything that is happening, thinking deep, doing some deep thinking about it. And who I see him to be, a bad man. In the sense that this is what I say, and this is what is going to happen, and nobody can change it. And it will not change.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask both of you and everybody in the chat, because we only have 8 minutes left. I want to ask one question before we go. Who is worse, the Prime Minister or his wife, and who is in charge, the Prime Minister or his wife? 2 questions, actually. Who is worse, Prime Minister or his wife?
You want to hear my part on it?
No, who's worse? Prime Minister's wife, Miss Philly. Who's worse?
It is said, you see,
what?
Behind every successful man, there is a good, strong woman. Now, we know about Angela's success. So we can measure that with the saying, right? I can't measure that. In that, this woman is a Delilah.
What?
Now, his success did not just come like that, because we know right now no statutory deduction, no sign of code of conduct, and all the works into that. So we know how that riches come right, how the success come right there. Now a woman, a strong, good, moral woman with ethics, good moral, she sees her husband doing things that ought not to be morally. And saying, she claims that she goes to church, she knows God, she's godly. She's far from that, far from the truth.
All right, give me the answer, Miss Philly. Who's worse?
She is, I believe she is the bully behind it, who is enhancing him as well.
And who's in charge?
She has, let me see, she would have promised to me about 75 to 80%.
All right. So here's the thing. And I'm looking in the chat, and I say people say the wife is worse, the PM ain't no better. I see where people say both. I see where people say no good can come from Androra's wife. They are both vampire. Fire need here to keep it going. Here's because if you say that the wife is worse, I think we should start focusing on the wife and kind of like put the prime minister on the back burner. If the problem is if she's the one providing the fuel for him to do what he's doing, and if you go back to the incident at his house, you cannot get a sense of who's in charge. Miss Philly, let me run and take the call here.
Mr. Rattigan, wait there. Mr. Rattigan, if someone doesn't want to do wrong, you don't do wrong. No matter how you're influenced, you don't have to do it.
All right, Miss Philly.
That's my take.
Let me lift it right. So we talk. Caller, good night. Welcome to Reason with Rattigan. Come Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from? Behind. Hold on a second. No leave yet. Hold on. People need to hear that one. Yeah. Go again. Okay. All right. The caller said, yeah, all right. Thanks. The caller said, behind every good man is a good woman, and behind every bad man is a bad woman. So, yeah. But we're going to start out with a question that comes Saturday. I think that's a nice question. Who's worse in terms of governance, demeanor, style, delivery, in terms of promises and all of that? Who's better? Who's worse? And then the next one is who do you think is in charge? Who do you think is in charge? Because remember now, they control they control basically two branches of government. We have three. The only one they don't control is the judiciary. And at one point, they control, well, they could say they still control it because they had the DPP.
The DPP.
Right, they had the DPP. And remember now, if the DPP says, I'm not going to prosecute, judges can't prosecute cases. So if the DPP says, I'm not going to bring in the charges, then nothing is going to be brought. So we have two of them. So, yeah, that's a nice way to start out Saturday. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, I say both of them because both of them are bullies. Both of them are disrespectful. Both of them have demeaned the office, brought the offices that they sit in. They are the occupants of right now, the temporary occupants of right now. They have brought it into disrepute. I saw an interview where a snippet of an interview where she I forgot the reporter who interviewed her, and she talked about somebody asked her about, I'm paraphrasing, her influence, basically. And she talked about this woman who visited her office and said, she said the man left and took all the money, and the woman said, oh, she looks at her and she's encouraged and, she can do this. No one should want to emulate Juliet Holmes. No woman with any decency, any sense of self should want to emulate her. Because any woman in positions of power, a female leader who conducts themselves the way she has conducted herself in the parliament gets kicked out as a CEO. If she was a CEO for a company, she would have been fired a long time ago because she would be bringing that company into disrepute. She would be affecting the company's bottom line. Okay? So both of them. The prime minister He is no different. From someone who says he came from humble beginnings, how is he treating the people who are now in the position that he was in when he was growing up? He has no respect for the people. He talks to people anyhow. Even in the parliament, both himself and his wife are trying to bully ride the parliamentarians who have equal rights as they do in the parliament because they were voted into the parliament. And the thing is, and this is what we must understand, a win is a win, but understand this. Andrew Holness is prime minister because of 1,000 votes. Not a lot. That's not a mandate. Okay? And that is something that they should have always in the back of their minds, that their position is tenuous. Because if there should be, just give them 5 by-elections, he's no longer prime minister. That can happen. That can happen. And I see accountability coming. They say they don't catch quark, they catch the shot. If his accountability does not come to his wife, accountability does not come to him and his wife, it will be visited upon their children. And there will be inquiries into how they amassed their wealth. And these things will be, it has happened all across the world, where the wealth amassed by the parents in power, or one parent or both parents, were taken away by a new group. It's a matter of if it's coming, it's a matter of when. It's a matter of when. And because you have persons who are, I don't want to say starstruck, but who have lost the will, who have lost the strength, the mental strength and fortitude it will require for them to stand up to these and say no, even within the Jamaica Labour Party itself, to stand up and say to both of them, we have had enough of you. You are a liability on the party. You telling me they cannot find 2 decent, honorable people in the party to put up as their standard bearer? Why is this behavior acceptable? Corruption left, right, and center. And nothing is happening. And all you can hear that, oh, he's traveling to hat in hand to beg money. No, absolutely not. So I say both of them are equally to blame for the problems facing the country.
All right, and that will be the last word, sis. I want to thank you for showing up again and
blessings, my brother.
Wisdom, knowledge, and a fresh perspective. You know, every week we get smarter when you show up on the program, believe me. And I just want to say thank you to all of you who tuned in tonight. As I said earlier, you could be somewhere else, but you chose to be with us, and that was a very, very wise choice. Because guess what happened? I'm sure you have learned some things tonight that you can go and you can teach some people. You can share information tomorrow.
All right. God bless to everyone. Have a good night, Rattigan, and we shall meet again. And to everyone in the chat, have a blessed good night. Blessings,
OT. Lead us out, OT.
People them said spice for them. Even politicians spread lies for them. But we know the bugger them not wise like him. Back up, them not ties on him. Them know said that the people rely on him. You know said them bring out them cries through him. That's why all the people them respect him. Just like Selassie and Marcus Garvey. Rock you all the order of the Trinity. A real strong soldier in a army. No simpleton can disarm you. We'll fight for the people every day.